Good morning, Soldier Boy here, and welcome back to RoadCraft for what is live stream number 60 as we continue our journey through the game and its DLC Rebuild. Today we continue on the final DLC map, Washout, as we continue where we left off in Tuesday morning stream. Now, Tuesday morning we spent the whole stream building a road. That sounds like we didn't achieve very much, but this road is very, very long, but it enables us to travel across a lot of the swampy areas that we currently can't utilize. And also, the mission we currently have on requires us to drive the worst vehicle in the game, the Wayfarer, across the swamp. So without this road, that wouldn't be possible. So today, we're going to hopefully finish off that road. We need to asphalt/tarmac it and then roll it. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can drive the Wayfarer over it and actually complete the mission we're trying to do without falling into the swamp. That is the plan. Hopefully, it goes to plan. There's always these best laid plans and all that. Don't always work, do they? We shall see. But a massive thank you to everyone who's also currently voted on our current vote on our community page. So the vote for next main live stream game is currently ongoing. This is taken from the two winners of the two previous votes and the two runners up. Although one was picked by myself because there was a three-way tie at the time. So don't miss your chance to have your say. That vote runs out on Saturday morning. So make sure you have your say before then. Mike Gold, good morning. How are you? Yeah, you are, Volux, thanks. So we have until Saturday to place your vote. As I say, it's an interesting vote so far from what I've seen this morning. From the people that have voted so far. It's going to be interesting who wins, I think, more than anything else. I'm curious to who's going to win. Mainly because I think it's not going to be who I expect, looking at how it's going so far. I'm doing okay, thank you. Doing okay. A bit of a rough night, but other than that, I'm okay. E-Player, good morning. How are you doing? How are you? Okay, just checking sound. I'll put a post in the comments in a minute to say about the vote to make sure people don't miss their chance to have their say. We are getting quite a few votes after the deadline, so that's why I put in the extra line in the vote spiel, essentially, to say, you know, votes after this time won't be counted. We are getting a lot of votes after the vote is already finished, so I just wanted to avoid anyone being disappointed because of that. Hence the extra bit of wording in there. Yeah, not too bad, E-Plan. Not too bad, thank you. A bit tired. It's a rough night, but other than that, I'm alright. Every night's a rough night, to be fair. Mustang Joes that joined us yesterday for Ghost of Yotai. We are probably one stream away from finishing it, so whatever wins the vote this week will probably start on Monday. Who might be late, Mike? Thank you for the like, good audience, appreciate it. Who might be late? There's no such thing as late in the streams. Who? I don't know who you're on about, Mike. Irish. He might be busy. There's no such thing as late. People join if they're free. If they're not, they don't join. Simple as that. But there's no such thing as late, as far as I'm concerned. If people are free to join, then they do so. If they don't, they don't. But yeah, I don't ever agree with saying anyone's late for a stream, as it doesn't exist in my mind. He might be busy. Might be anything going on. Right, let's crack on. We've got this road to finish off today. We spent the whole of last stream building this road, laying the sand, solving problems, and flattening the sand. Today, asphalt/tarmac. It bugs me to say asphalt, but that's what it is called in game, as it's an American map, isn't it? Essentially, only because in the UK we call it tarmac. I'm assuming it's near enough the same thing. I think there might be a different mixture, but essentially the same thing. And if we can get the road finished, we can then complete the mission we're on by getting the substation back up and running as well. That's the focus. 41% done on Washout, the final DLC map as it stands. We've done 6 of 24 infrastructure requests, 12 of 32 objectives, and 6 of 11 side objectives as well. In fact, to be fair, we did complete a mission in the last map. We completed an infrastructure request, which was to build a road, because we spurred off that road to do the one we're actually doing. So we did an infrastructure request whilst also doing this big road through the swamp that we needed. If it wasn't for us driving the Wayfarer to the substation, we wouldn't be doing this road. I think we may have to do it at a later point. We probably wouldn't be doing it right now. It's only because of this Wayfarer that we have to drive to the substation that this is needed. It's one of those things you never want to have to build a massive road like this, but sometimes you have a choice. So we did start asphalting this in the last stream. I haven't got the actual handbrake on. I must have finished without the handbrake on. So we've got to this point so far, the asphalting. We're starting here, coming up here. So our asphalt is going to go all the way up here, round over here, all through, all the way to up here, over the pipes, and to the, and up here, and to our forest base, and then we'll roll the whole thing as well. Oh, the reason we haven't completed the infrastructure, we haven't actually asphalted it yet. We also need to do that bit there. But that was the bit we kind of spurred off last time. So that's the infrastructure request along this route here to the repair shop, and we spurred off it to come this way, which will enable us to drive the Wayfarer from the gas station all the way down here to the substation. And if it wasn't, as I say, if it was any other vehicle, we wouldn't do this because we wouldn't need to, but we don't have much choice considering the Wayfarer is the worst vehicle in the game. Right, I don't want to waste any time. Let's crack on and actually get this moving. As I say, we want to get this done today. We want to get the mission complete at the very least. There is a side mission to do after this as well, which we do want to be looking at doing. The other reason for this road, we have seen by doing this that there is going to be some convoys probably coming this way, so this road we need those as well. I think being tired is just a sign of getting old, to be fair, Mike. Everyone feels as they get older. I know I do especially. Although I've got other reasons for being tired, but yeah, I think it's a sign of just getting old in general. Being always tired. Not liking this hill. So the asphalt does have issues sometimes with hills, hence it is now. We are going to have to come back a little bit and redo a little bit of that, I think. Just wasn't happy with some of that bit. Okay, let's just quickly go back down here. And one of these, I don't mind it looking a bit scruffy in places, but I do want to make sure we've done it as well as we can at the same time. Sometimes I don't feel the need to have to go and redo bits, but sometimes I do. And we know that when we roll this, it will leave an edge. So we're kind of allowing for that by making sure we're doing it as close to that edge as possible to allow for it when it does its own edge after rolling. Right, we can stay there for a minute. I never ever turn a vehicle off. It's one thing I've just never done so far. And it wasn't actually an option to start with in the first game, when the game first released. It's an option they added in later. Right, bear be, my little boy just messaged. Oh yeah, absolutely. There you go, he's at school. Happy days. Okay, should be fine. Back up the hill we go. To be fair, what we could do is turn off the asphalter to enable it to actually go up a bit easier. It really doesn't like hills. I'm not surprised, to be fair, considering the vehicle is and what it does. I'm not surprised it doesn't like hills very much, to be fair. Speed is horrendous as well going up the hill. It will pick up a bit once it gets near the top. Do you want to do a little bit more on this right hand side here if we can? I say, sometimes it's not too bad and we can leave it, but it's one of those things, it doesn't have to look pretty, but it needs to be usable. And sometimes that means just doing a little bit extra on the edges. As I say, when you roll it, it leaves an edge anyway. Should be okay now. Still got a lot of asphalt to lay though yet. So this is a long road. It's probably, I think this is the biggest road we've built. Or longest road, not big. It's not biggest, is it? It's longest really. Yeah, I think this is the longest road we've ever built in the game so far. And as I say, some people may not do this. They may decide that actually they don't need to build a massive mega road like this when they do this map. They may decide that they can get around it a different way. But for me, I think this map makes the most sense. This road makes the most sense. Not just for the mission we currently have ongoing, but also for future missions. Because we're going to need to use this route for other reasons as well. So this is just going to save us time in the long run. No getting stuck in the swamp, essentially. Turn to the left. Doesn't want to turn for me. I'm trying to go forward. I can't get the turn left. There we go, can now. So some of the messiness is actually the asphalt or just not playing ball. We got one of our new controllers arrive yesterday, so the one I picked is now here. Camo grey, they said. It's a greeny grey, but it's a camo grey. I think it's the colour scheme. My little boy, the one he's ordered to replace my two white ones aren't holding charge very long anymore. His isn't out till March because there's a load of new colours coming in, and he likes these neon colours. I'm not fussed about. Controller's a controller. As long as it feels good in the hand, that's the big deal. But yeah, so his isn't coming till March. But he happily opened mine yesterday for me. Right, it's the price of controllers is stupid now though. When I first bought the PS5, I think it was 5 years ago, I think it was now. Maybe 4, I can't remember. But when we first bought the PS5, I think it was 4 years ago actually. Controllers weren't as expensive. I'm pretty sure they weren't as expensive as they are now. The price of controllers now is ridiculous. And I'm someone who doesn't like spending money unless I really have to. And I'll research things long term before I make that decision. But there wasn't many deals to be had, unfortunately. I've held off getting new controllers for a while, to be honest. I should have got some a while back. Because I knew the white ones were not working properly. I knew they weren't holding charge. I was trying so hard to avoid spending the money though. It's not a fan of spending money full stop. It's not liking that, is it? I think this is where we had to roll it again a little bit, and it's just not liking the little bumps here. This is what's going to take the time, I think, laying this asphalt, is making sure we get the bit we want done. Asphalt was in the whole game are very temperamental. We found this all the way through. It's not a new thing you haven't experienced previously. They are extremely temperamental. I don't know if they are in real life. I'd be interested to know if they are in real life, to be fair. But they just are really unsure of certain conditions, hills, bumps, rocks. Just, yeah, they're a pain in the butt, to be honest. But it's needed if we want to build a road. And I don't have to do this. We could leave these edges and stuff. It bugs me if we don't do it to the best of our ability, that's the thing. And actually laying asphalt on the edge like this actually extends the sand a little bit. You'll notice when we're near an edge, the sand will get pushed slightly more out. So it does extend, it makes the road wider essentially. And the more width we have, the better. Because if there's a convoy coming this way and we're also trying to use the route at the same time, we don't want to crash. And the AI will happily hit you, it won't move out of your way. So we have to take avoiding action. And sometimes to get out of the way of it, we need to, you know, come to the side. So the more width we have, the better, essentially. Which is why I prefer this asphalt to the base game first one you have, because it's a lot wider, has a wider reach than the one you start with. Same as the roller's wider as well. Same as the sand leveler is wider. It's all about width when it comes to these roads, I feel anyway. There is still a chance you may have to dig up a bit of this road to put in some cables later. It'll be the first time we have to. All the way through the base game and DLC to this point, we've avoided doing so. We're not liking this hill either. But I think we're getting to a point we may need to. Because I'm thinking ahead of what we still need to do. Once the substation's up and running, I think we're going to need to lay cable. So there may be the first time ever we have to actually dig up a bit of our road to do so. The feature on the leveler that we've not used. So it'd be nice to use it for the first time, just not ideal. We've always avoided it until now. I'm really struggling with this hill. Doesn't want to turn where we want it to turn. Right, we're over it at least. Still need to do that other edge already though. If I wasn't a stickler and I could leave some of this looking messy, I would, but I just can't. It's not in my nature. It may not look the best, but I still want to make it look as best as I can do myself, if that makes sense. It's so easy to go, yeah, I'll do. But I'm thinking ahead of, you know, trying to traverse the route ourselves, avoiding oncoming traffic when there's convoys. Try and think about all that when we're doing it, just to make sure we've got the best route we can, the smoothest route as well. Because anytime the Wayfarer is being used, you're going to have an issue. Even on asphalt, it will still struggle in places. That's the thing. So the more we can make it so it's easier, the better. But also any convoys, if there's a convoy coming through here, we want them not to have any issues, because then we've got to keep coming back to solve the issues. So the better we make the roads, the less likely we are that convoys have an issue too. That's the thing. Otherwise I could leave some of this and not worry, but I'm just trying to make it the best we can to make our lives easier long term. Which is also what the point of the road is in the first place. Let's say, for someone else who does this map, they may not build this road, they may find a different way to get the Wayfarer there. Could potentially tow it maybe, but that will take a little while. Would it be quicker than building the road? Probably. Looking ahead to what else we're probably going to have to do. Some guesswork's involved, admittedly. We're trying to plan ahead to make our life quicker and easier long term with the map. That's the main thing. That means having the road already in place makes our life easier long term. Okay, we're getting that. You don't realise how big the road is until you actually do this. How long? I say big, I mean long. Every time I say big, I do mean long. But it is such a long road. Got it right that time. But yeah, so the vote that's ongoing community page, 4 games on there previously, 1 will come second file, 1 I actually do myself because there's a three-way tie. You go onto the post itself now, there isn't a three-way tie on that previous vote, but the votes were added after the fact, hence why now we've got a little bit of wording on the votes to say any votes after the cut-off will not be counted. I never put it before because I thought it was kind of a given based on how we did it, but obviously not. That's why sometimes the votes look different to when I've actually taken the result, but I take the result at the time we state. So anything after that just isn't included. Mainly because I do the schedule at that point, so I need to know by that point who's won. So that Saturday morning at 8:30 I will do the schedule for the following week. And especially the week coming, we're going to need to know what's won, because I believe, potentially, whatever wins the vote will start on Monday. Because we're that close to finishing Ghost of Yotai. I think he called it Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, we're that close to finishing Ghost of Yotai that I think we're going to need the winner to start. So tomorrow morning, potentially, we finish the story of Ghost of Yotai. Maybe go for Platinum, we don't know yet. We don't look at trophies till after the story, but we're that close to finishing the story that I think we'll start next week, whatever wins. Currently, Deliverance 1 and 2 are winning. I did put 2 originally, because I didn't even think we could still access number 1, but you can. I think it's 2018 number 1 came out. So we'll start on the first one and play both games. And it takes as long as it takes to finish them. I know them, I think they are described as medieval simulator essentially, isn't it, from what I've seen and heard. But I'm looking forward to it, it'll be an interesting one. This bit's a bit bumpy here. Why does this look really hilly here? Asphalt is not happy. It does look really hilly here, it's weird. When we did this I didn't think it looked that bad. But yeah, that looks really hilly going up there. Go back over this bit on the edge. Got to allow for turning, that's the thing, especially with the Wayfarer being the first vehicle to really drive this route. We need to make sure we can turn with the trailer. We don't have any issues with the trailer getting stuck in the swamp. because that would severely mess us up as well. The worst thing is we do all this work, we drive the Wayfarer and it gets stuck immediately. That would be the worst thing. But we're going to complete an infrastructure request as well, which will increase hopefully our percentage on the map today. We didn't get any gain last stream because we're doing this. Whereas today we should finish the infrastructure because that's part of this road that we did. So we should get more than 41%. I think it has near enough been confirmed. There was an update which has some fixes yesterday, day before, for this. Nothing major, nothing that's affected us to be fair. But there were a few bug fixes done. But there is, as far as I'm aware, and I've been checking this morning, the next update is in March, which is meant to bring new vehicles and new maps. So whatever happens, we'll be back in this in the future. We're still thinking about looking at mod maps once we finish this DLC, to be fair. And knowing there's more stuff coming in March, maybe we still do. Maybe we start Deliverance, if that wins the vote, whatever wins the vote, we start that on Monday. All being well, goes to Vyoto tomorrow. And we keep going in this until the new maps come out in March, maybe. It's kind of my thinking, but it's not set in stone at all. I don't really know exactly what we're going to do this year. But we did say it'd be nice to have a look at some of these mod maps. It's not something I normally use. The last time I used mod maps was probably Farming Simulator. Me and a few mates used to play, and some of the mod maps are amazing. What they add to the game is incredible. So maybe we look at those for the first time. It'd be interesting to see what people have created map-wise, and the scenarios they've put in as well, based on what obviously the game already has to offer. I think it'd be quite interesting to see what people have done. Right, so this is the infrastructure route that we spurred off the swamp. We'll just finish this bit up here. It's really struggled over the swamp part, but actually it's not too bad now. It's just that it can just be so temperamental, this thing. Knock the fence down, doesn't matter massively. Right, there we go. We did also add a little bit extra as well where our forest base is, just to make it easier for us leaving the forest base essentially. If we're putting sand down anyway, it made sense to add a little bit more where we could. We are going to quickly go back again in a second. I want to do a bit more of that edge where we can. I think time-wise though, 3.5 hours should easily get this done. Is my expectation, to then see what else is next. We've got a side mission already to do as well, which is going to be interesting to say the least. I don't think we need to build a road to get there, but I think it's going to be tough going. We're going to need to move some rocks out of the way and stuff anyway. I'm trying to do this edge along here. The edge I want to do is over here. As again, I'm just planning for, in case there's a convoy, in case we need to get past oncoming vehicles. Because now at the minute, if we swerve off, we're going into the swamp, and then we may have issues. So I just want to have a little bit more extra on the sides to allow for that, just in case. This is actually really slow over asphalt. Didn't realize it was that slow. But yeah, just want to make sure that if we need to avoid a convoy, we can, without putting ourselves into too much of difficulty. We're just going to extend this edge on this corner, especially on corners. Especially, I think they're more important to make sure we can get past other vehicles. Because in Sod's Law, you meet another vehicle on the corner, and that's when you have issues. That should be alright. So we're nearly actually done with the asphalt. We're nearly there, and then it is rolling, and then that's the route complete. It should be so nice to have done at last. Taking us a while, like I say, we didn't have the whole of last stream doing this road, but that was laying all the sand, solving the issues with the mud as well, because actually putting the sand down wasn't simple because of the amount of mud in the swamp, especially this area. There was a lot of problems we had to deal with just to get this route actually planned out. we do need to go back on this corner a bit here. Don't know how much it's going to like us doing this. Probably not going off. We need to do our turning part here, so that's why we made this a lot wider. Just to allow for turning with bigger vehicles, i.e. the Wayfarer especially, but also AI-driven vehicles and the convoys. We've already seen there's certain places nearby that are going to have convoys routes coming, because yellow doors on the side of buildings generally dictate convoy with a start-finish point. So we know we will be having them. We just haven't got that mission as of yet. Right, let's do this side bit over here. Obviously this bit is part of an infrastructure route, so this bit does need to be done properly. A lot of their vehicles here probably will have to be recovered rather than driven out where they are. We'll just move them out of the way at the time. I can take this marker off now as well. That can go. That was where we needed to know where the limit of the sand from the quarry was. And that's now done. I don't know if I need to go more over that side. That edge, yeah, I think we are going to need to go back over that edge, aren't we? Go back over this edge on the side. Turn that way. I don't want to slide into that swamp. That would be a nightmare. I'd say the roller we use, which is one of the late game rollers, is a lot wider. So allowing for that as well, the main asphalt is a good thing. Thank you for the like, but much appreciated. But we're getting there, so we're just going to go straight up here, and we'll spur off to the right as well. We'll go straight to start because that'll finish the infrastructure asphalt laying. And then we'll go spur to the right, which is where the forest base is. And then it's rolling time. And then route complete. And then we get to drive the Wayfarer. The worst vehicle in the game. I can't not call it the worst vehicle in the game, to be fair. I don't think they've actually released any information on the maps or the vehicles coming in the next update in March. I'm really hoping they will do something other than the Wayfarer. So have another tractor unit like the Wayfarer but better, or allow the Wayfarer to be upgraded maybe. You know, they've done different versions of the mule and stuff, maybe a different version of the Wayfarer. It just needs to be better in all aspects. It just struggles so much. Unless it's on proper road or asphalt, it struggles immensely. And it just slows you down so much. That's why we don't use it. Although, to be fair, I don't think it's a vehicle that would have much use anyway. So we've not missed not using it, essentially. It's not something that we've had to, it would have been quicker we'd use the Wayfarer. That hasn't happened. Throughout the whole base game and DLC, you know, it's been one of those vehicles we don't use because it's so bad, and we haven't missed not using it either. There's always other vehicles you've got can use first that do just as good a job, if not better. So we don't necessarily need a different type of vehicle like the Wayfarer, because it's not going to be useful. I'd like a different, maybe a heavy transporter. Another one of those would be nice, different to the one we have. We've got quite a few tree cutters now. There's 2 rollers in the game, but then do you need more than 2 rollers? Probably not. We do know, the one thing that has been said about the stuff in March is about the wrecking ball. We don't know how that's going to be incorporated into the maps coming, but that'll be interesting to see how that works. Because collision physics in this aren't too bad. So destroying a house that's been destroyed in a storm or whatever would be quite interesting to see how that works, because then would you need to get rid of the debris? Would you need something that can pick up all the debris other than a crane maybe? There's things like that, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they add and what they do. So this is the end of the actual infrastructure part here. We are just going to spur off to the right, as that will be, well, that's where our forest base is essentially. Do we need to go back on the left hand edge? Yeah, probably. We're going to do this corner part anyway to allow for us turning. I'm going to miss a bit there, aren't I? Yeah, so again, we're just allowing for turning here. That's why we make the corners a bit different, just to make sure we can turn. A bit more width to make sure we can avoid any oncoming convoy vehicles too. If there's not a convoy going, you won't meet traffic. There's no traffic in the game. But it is convoys. Even when a convoy is complete and we've got all the rewards, the convoy still keeps running. Until it fails, then it doesn't go on running. But if it fails, you can't actually do anything with it. If you've got all the rewards, it no longer shows up as an option. So once all the rewards are done, it just runs indefinitely until it stops and has an issue. So we want to make sure we can avoid them where possible. Just because it's nice to have them running around the map. Adds a bit more life to the map, that's the thing. I think the one big thing we are hoping for in the DLC coming in March is bring back Kelly. I think there needs to be a campaign to RoadCraft to say bring back Kelly. She adds so much voice and integration into the maps themselves. It makes the map feel more alive by having a comment or even the random messages she sends you as well. To have a laugh or joke about different things. I think that's all needed. And it's a shame they took her out of this DLC. I don't quite understand their reasoning. Unless obviously the actress who played her or voiced her wasn't available or wanted too much money maybe, I don't know. Obviously we're not privy to that kind of stuff, but you need that connection, I think. It does add so much more to the game if you have that. It's fine us reading it, what we need to do and that, but she just added more voice to it. And what she read and what she said wasn't exactly what it tells you for the mission. There was an added bit of charm to it as well. So yeah, I do hope they bring back Kelly for the next DLC. I'm assuming it's DLC they're bringing out. It's not just maps. I don't know if it is, but I think it is. I would assume it is. Although they could probably just add maps to rebuilding, wouldn't be an issue, but I don't know. Would it be better with DLC? Maybe? But yeah, Kelly is definitely someone that we'd like back in the game. Or I would at the very least. I don't know what other people think. But yeah, I definitely like her back. Yeah, Kingdom Come's going to be interesting, I think. I don't even know how long they are. I would expect them to be really long. 1 and 2. And if that wins the vote, it's going to be, we'll do that for a while, I think. And then we generally have a second game on the go now anyway. We never used to. We should just do one game 5 days a week. But it's all about adding variety. Although saying variety, I'm still struggling with the episodic stuff. I'm not getting anything done. I need the nights to be better, so the days aren't as tiring, if that makes sense. And I was annoyed yesterday having to finish the stream where we did with Ghost of Yotai. We were so close to finishing the story. But I didn't know how long was left. If it had been another hour, I wouldn't be streaming today because I'd have done myself too much. I have a history of pushing myself beyond my limit. For those that aren't aware, due to the injuries we have from the reason we started the channel. It's mentioned all over the channel at different points. I don't want to really go back over it, but yeah. I can't always push myself more because it's the worst thing you can do. Thanks for the like, very much appreciated. So I think I made the right decision in stopping yesterday, where we did, but it's just annoying. We did beat the Kettle though, finally. That was a nice victory in the end. Finally beating him. It's quite so that in games that are really hard, people complain. Elden Ring was a big one. People complain it's too hard. But I do think, and I'm not the best player in the world, I won't ever say I am. And I struggle with different things, and you know, I don't find everything easy. And I don't think a lot of people do. But that level of difficulty also helps, because as long as it is achievable, when you do get it finished, when you do finally beat that boss for that first time, you do get a massive sense of satisfaction. Because like one of the bosses in Elden Ring, we defeated them on our very first attempt. One of the early bosses, we surprised everyone, did it really quickly. And you don't get as much satisfaction from that. You know, when it's taking 5 or 6 tries, or more, there's more of a satisfaction when you actually get it done, I find anyway. I know other people do get frustrated if they can't do it. I generally don't get frustrated in games. I get annoyed at myself, admittedly. I generally don't get frustrated by anything in the game. So there is a massive sense of satisfaction when we do actually get something done that's taken a good few attempts. The problem is nowadays, I think a lot of people want easy stuff. And you see these complaints from people, the game's too difficult, this boss needs toning down. As long as it's achievable, I don't see the issue. As I say, it's a sense of pride that you actually do it. Because a lot of the time these things are watered down to make it easier for everyone. And yeah, I just don't think it should be. I think a sense of achievement matters so much. But I know that they've done it with Elden Ring, they've made certain bosses a bit easier. You know, we didn't have the easiest time in the world. Just turn. When we did Elden Ring. But every boss we managed to beat eventually, there was that massive satisfaction from managing it. And watering that down, I think, just takes that satisfaction away. As I say, the one of the bosses we beat first time, on our very first attempt, didn't get that sense of satisfaction from beating them. I thought it was cool we did it first time, and people were amazed, and you know, and all that. But I'd rather have struggled 5 or 6 times first, and then beat them. That's the thing. Right, asphalting done. This long road is coming together. We've got the rolling now, and then we can use it to finish the mission we're on, and look at what's next as well afterwards. As I say, we know there's going to be convoys in this route, so it is needed to be done properly. And that is the asphalting done though. Okay, let's grab our roller. Our roller is down by the substation, as that was where we last built a road. We're parked off over here. Looking a bit muddy, isn't it? It's going to be parked on mud though, to be fair. Now, the roller won't do the whole width of the road in one. Yes, it's wider than the base game version. We're already rolling, so we're good. And it's quicker, but it won't do it all in one. In fact, we'll probably have to go both sides and then middle afterwards, maybe, in some areas. So it's important we get to the side as much as we can while not going too far off. Make sure we get the maximum width we can. You can see the edge it leaves now as well when we roll. That is just part and parcel of rolling the asphalt. There will always be an edge. It looks like it's not rolled essentially. But rolling this on the round edge does push it out slightly as well, so you are getting more width. So not only do you get more width when you flatten the sand, you also get more width when you asphalt it, and then you get more width when you roll it. It's pushed out ever so slightly, that makes a big difference in the long run. But yeah, we'll need to go both sides and middle probably on all of it, more than likely. But this roller is pretty good. A lot quicker than the base game one, or the starter one I should say. There's only 2 rollers in the whole game, and that's all that's needed. I'd be disappointed if they had new rollers in, or a new roller in the upcoming update in March. I would be, yeah, I think I'd be quite disappointed with roller. But same as I'd be disappointed with an asphalt layer, to be fair. I don't think any more than 2 is needed of both of them, because their jobs are very specific in that regard. 2 is enough. I think more than that is just unwarranted. Say that, would a longer one maybe be better? I don't know. I say longer, I mean wider. Wider roller might be better, maybe, but even then I still think it's overkill. But I'm sure other people have a different opinion. LVs, good morning, how are you? Okay. We are making progress. You're good, glad to hear you're good. So nice using something a bit quicker to do the road, to be fair. Obviously, the flattening the sand isn't too bad, it's fairly quick. The sand itself was a bit slow, and asphalting is slow in general, for obvious reasons. This roller though is so much quicker. Yes, so the new Assassin's Creed has been delayed, hasn't it? X, I think it has. Black Flag remake. I hadn't heard Black Flag. I'd heard of Hex being delayed. The new Prince of Persia remastered has been cancelled. I'm not surprised. That one doesn't bother me. Something else I heard had been delayed as well. But yeah, it's not surprising. In this day and age, they can't afford to put out something that is buggy or they haven't got right. That's the thing. This day and age, it's not acceptable, and I think they're learning lessons from the past in a way of doing that. And Black Flag remaster, I don't think it needs it. In all honesty, we've done it on the channel previously, and obviously it looks dated. I don't think it needs a remaster. I know it's universally loved by the majority of people, but personally, we've done the story. I wouldn't play it again, so I don't need to. You know, there's no change in the story or anything, so what's the point? That's in my eyes, admittedly. My view is slightly different because I don't replay many things. Yeah, but it's an old game. Old games do look rough. You know, if you remaster that, you're going to remaster 3. And you know, are you going to remaster all the others to make them more looking more updated? Or they're doing it for a financial gain because it's universally loved. That's the thing. It's all pure financial, not because they think the game deserves it or needs it. It's they know it will sell. But I just don't see the point. If you've done the story once, you've done the story. That's the thing. I don't think it's something. I don't necessarily agree with remasters in that regard, because I just think there's no point. There's something that, you know, once there's no new stuff being added, I just don't see the reasoning. But that is just because I don't replay things generally. In fact, the only game we've done more than once, story-wise, was Mars Morales for the Platinum. The final trophy was to do it New Game Plus, so we did it, and that's the only time I've ever done it. And I probably wouldn't do it again either. I'd probably say you'd want to go for Platinum, personally. But that is just a personal thing. I've never generally replayed games, to be fair. Not story-driven games, because once you know the story, there's no surprise anymore. That's my thing. There's no surprise, and if there's no surprise, it's boring. We haven't done them on the channel, no. They've been in the vote several times and come nowhere. I know they've remastered number 1. But yeah, we haven't done them on the channel. They've been in, like I say, the votes had them on us a couple of times. They've yet to win a vote. And I just haven't added them again for a while, because I always rotate what we add. So, because they've lost a few times, I've just not gone back and added them again. Just going to go back down the middle here. Just because this is the infrastructure part, I want to make sure it's done when we get to the other end. So we're just going to quickly nip down the middle here. There is a bit of asphalt missing there, annoyingly, which is annoying me. I might, do I quickly get the asphalt to put it there? A little bit that's missing is going to annoy me. I might quickly grab the asphalt just to fill in that little bit, because I know it's going to bug me otherwise. It looks and plays Dead Story so enjoyable. Yeah, it's like I say, we've put them on the vote. They've never won. But they'll be back on the vote at some point. It's just trying to vary it up as much as possible, really. Right, I can't leave that with a big hole in the road. I wish I could, because I know it's going to take. This thing's going to be slow I didn't even have low gear on. This will be quicker now. I just realised low gear was on. Although not that much quicker to be fair. But yeah, I do want to do number 1 and 2. I've done 2 personally years and years ago. Not on the channel, but before kind of YouTube. I don't think I've ever played 1, to be fair. But yeah, they'll probably be cycled back into the vote at some point soon. I think they had there was a bundle going. Did I buy the bundle? I may have already bought the bundle, where they incorporate both games together with the remastered number 1 as well. I think I did buy it because it was on a decent offer. And sometimes I'll buy games that we haven't done on the channel, may not have even been on a vote yet, but I'll buy them because the offer is really good. So I think I did buy the bundle in advance, just because the offer on it was really good. That I just thought we'll do it at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, I've done that to a few games, bought them in advance. But yeah, I don't ever remember playing number 1. I'm trying to think if I did or not. I don't think I did. Back in the day, because it's PS3, weren't it, I think, originally. And I'm pretty sure I didn't play it. Whereas number 2 I've done. I did a little bit of the online stuff back in the day as well when it first released. Wasn't that interested in it. A few mates tried it with us. And yeah, just weren't that interested in it. I know the online has changed a lot now to what it was when it first released. But yeah, when it first released it just wasn't that good. In my opinion anyway. But this was the bit I missed and that annoyed me, so we'll just come back to really fill this in. Okay, I need to chuck this somewhere. I'll put it in the mud, I may not get it out though. Put the roller more to the side, I could have got past it. I think we're okay though. I don't know where the next road is, so we may not need to take it from here. But just in case we do, I want it usable obviously. Which, just over here is solid ground. There we go. Chuck it parked up over here. Guys, right, let's jump back in the roller. Now that I've fixed my bit that I missed, I can't leave things like that. That's the problem. Right, so we'll do this little bit here. We know we've got to go back left at some point to finish off down there. We know that, but we'll go straight for the minute and come back on ourselves anyway. This road may finish before we've done the other bits, because it's part of an infrastructure mission. It may finish itself, although maybe not. No, it's still going green, even though we're only doing one side of it. It's still going green, so that will stay blue actually, so it won't finish automatically yet. No, it's still going green, isn't it? Is it all green? No, there's a blue bit. Okay, cool. I kind of didn't want it to finish itself, because it will sometimes not finish, let you do parts again afterwards. We shall see. I just want this road done now. I want to drive the Wayfarer, get it out of the way and done, and I have to drive it again for hopefully a while. This mission may add more to it once we're done as well, that's the thing. Although the mission seems fairly simple at the minute, deliver the vehicle, it's already been added to as it is, because we were clearing the trees and debris out the way for the road near the substation anyway, up the mountain pass. That was part of the mission originally, although the road wasn't an infrastructure road, it was the one it said to do, made sense to do as well. So this mission may still be added to once we've done the power. Once we've repaired it, there may be more to come, we don't know. But we'll do the side mission after this main mission anyway. We'll try and swap between the two where possible. This may even finish the second part of the story of this map, maybe. potentially. You'd think they'd run with the percentage for the map, but it doesn't run with the percentage, that's the thing. Right, so let's turn around. Do the other edge, we'll have to come back down the middle more than likely. Completely missed the start point. But yeah, a lot of games look that. I'm surprised at how dated games do look. That's the thing. It is. Probably shouldn't be surprising because obviously games have changed over the years graphically massively. But that's one of the reasons I think I'm struggling a little bit with Metal Gear Solid, the Master Collection that we're doing episodically. I am struggling with that, not just because of the drowsiness, but also because it's so dated. I'm not used to that, I must admit. It's like we haven't done much of dated, really old games on the channel, and that I'm struggling to get into it because of that. We're on the second one as it stands. I need to get this drowsiness under control. It's annoying me we can't get more episodic stuff done. I'm just going to go back down to that middle bit, and then we know that bit's done as well. All the spur offs are basically going to be done, and then all that's left is the main route. Essentially. But yeah, I didn't ever think graphically that would stop me getting into a game, but some of them are. And as I say, Metal Gear Solid is the big one, I think. I think the later games will be fine. That first three, even though they're remastered as well, I'm struggling with them. But I want to finish them so we know the story more, but it's just a struggle. I don't need anything else struggling on top of the drowsiness. That's bad enough on its own. Okay, that bit of the road to the forest base is now done. It's another bit complete. So we've got the infrastructure route to do and the mountain pass to do. And then this road is finished. And then I'm hoping the Wayfarer drives okay. I just hate the vehicle with passion. But yeah, at least this bit's done. We're getting there. To spend the whole of last stream making this road, I want it done now. I know long term it's going to help massively. I'm over it. I want to drive something different for a little while. Although my choice wouldn't be the Wayfarer, to be fair. Okay, this infrastructure route may complete, even though we're going to go and do the side, the right hand side, it may complete whilst we're doing it, which means the middle may get completed for us. If it does, it does. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes it does complete it for you, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it will leave it and you'll have to come back and do it yourself. But we'll see what it does. We know we've got the middle bit on some bits to do anyway. Although to be fair, there isn't much of a middle bit missing here. If that's the case, actually, we can do this with one. We don't actually have to come back and do the middle. So because of that, I just want to quickly do the start point, so we don't have to come all this way with the roller again. Because it is that start point that is kind of missing at the minute. So just quickly do that bit, and then we don't have to come back this way. And it will just be the mountain pass, essentially. I will need finishing off. There we go. So it looks like the width of the roller is roughly the width of what's left on the infrastructure route to roll, so that should be good. Yeah, no worries, Mike. Thank you for dropping by. Much appreciated. Have a good sleep, and I'm sure we'll see you soon. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, this will complete before we get to turn off to the mountain pass, I think. Looking at what's left. At least it is then an infrastructure mission done. It is something complete. And as I say, I know this has taken a while, but it is needed. That's the thing. And we'll get the benefit of it very quickly with the mission we're currently on. It may even be, once we deliver the vehicle, it may be then we need to do a convoy, potentially. Which having this route would be massive for that, because it will be massively needed. Right, that's the infrastructure mission complete. The only downside to the infrastructure, if you see the join here, we're not going to be able to fix that joint. There's no way of fixing that. Because this spur off isn't part of the infrastructure, there will be a gap between the two, as you can see there. It looks really bad, it's really annoying. There's nothing we can do. It's just because it's an infrastructure route and what we've made isn't part of that. So it does separate it into two different bits. I'm pretty sure even if we lay asphalt back on it, it doesn't do it. Which is a little bit annoying. Right, I don't know if we can do this in one. I think we will have to come back on ourselves to the middle, potentially. We'll see if we can get it done in one though. I think it's going to be too wide. Okay. Let's see if we can do it. We don't have to come and do the middle, brilliant, but if we do, we do. So try and make sure we're as straight as we can, so if we don't have to, we won't. You can see there's already mud on the asphalt as well, annoyingly. It's not clean if there's mud on it. Right, we don't need to come back and do the middle bit here. We seem to have the right width on us, not to have to. But yeah, the Wayfarer is next, which is the vehicle we need to deliver. We'll probably... Right, I know we've got to come back and do that edge here because of how wide we've made this turning to allow for big vehicles to turn and convoys. What we'll do is we'll reverse back now and do it. Again, if we can avoid coming back, it saves a bit of time. I do love the steam that comes off when you do these. When you roll the asphalt. It's an extra bit of realism, isn't it? Right, as I said, I don't know if we're wide enough. We missed a little tiny bit there, so we'll quickly solve that while we're here. We have made the road fairly wide, so we should be good in case there are convoys and we need to use the same route. I think we would have managed to avoid them pretty well. Which is the whole intention. Right, this bit here is pretty wide, so what we'll do is solve that in one go now. Once again, the solver's going to come back for one little bit. Not back and forth, but it just makes sure it's done. And we don't have to come back just for a tiny little bit, essentially. Okay, this is where maybe we'll have to come back on ourselves to see the width there. Though actually, it gets thinner here, so again, we'll just come back and solve that now to save us driving all this way for that little section. There we go. Now we've got the mountain pass through the swamp. Well, it is mountain pass through the swampy bit here, really. Although we're about to leave the swamp. Mountain pass to do, and then this is done. And then we can get the vehicle delivered, and then the side mission is also to take stuff to the top of the mountain this time, so I'll have a proper look at that. I think we're going to need to move rocks and debris out of the way to get up there anyway. We shall see. Although pretty happy with the road. It's taken a little while to do, and obviously that's a given for the length of it. But I think it's gone pretty well. I think the hardest part was laying the sand through the swamp because it's a swamp. Right, we'll just quickly go back on ourselves here as well. Yeah, the swamp was tricky to get through. Pretty impressed with our heavy dumper though. The one we've used since the start of the game, to be fair. It's one of the base ones that you get very early on. It was really impressive in the mud. Especially a lot more than I thought it would be. I was expecting us to use the Aramasu, which is in the DLC one. Dumper truck, basically because that had tracks, but the dumper just there on the right has wheels, and we thought in the swamp it would get really stuck. It didn't. It actually did really well. It's still awkward to use, and I think all dumpers are generally. I do find them a bit tricky to get the sand to lay quite level, but all in all, it's just impressed with how well he got through the swamp. And this swamp has been drained. It's not. We're not going to suddenly lose a load of water out of it. It's already been drained from a previous mission, so the water level shouldn't drop anymore, I don't think. a little bit in the middle there to go back and do. By the looks of this, because of the way we're doing it, in terms of these little bits we've missed in the middle, we're doing them now, we shouldn't have to come back down the middle for any of it. Or for this bit at the very least. Okay, now it's a little bit wider here, but again I think when it thins out we'll just go back and finish off the middle bit. Again, there's no point coming back just to do a little bit of middle. If there's a big patch in the middle we need to do because we made it really wide, then fair enough. But for a little bit, I don't think it's worth it. Especially when we just reverse now and do it now. There are a few bumps on it. It's not perfectly level. It's never going to be. That's the thing. We still need to use the latest log forwarder that was released as part of the Timberworks pack. We need to give that a go at some point. We've got loads of logs we've cut down. We're using the new log cutter. Again, not as good as the crayfish, but we do need to come back and pick a load of them up, and when we do so, we will use the new vehicle to do it. That way we get a chance to use it and just compare it to the one we actually use normally. It's a tracked one, and its turning is different to normal as well, so it will be interesting to see how it works in comparison. We're not a massive fan of the new tree cutter compared to the crayfish. We just find it really awkward, although we didn't realise till quite late on of using it, it's better to use it from the back rather than the front. So you reverse up to the tree essentially, with the cutter being at the back of the tractor, although it sits naturally at the front. It works better if you reverse up the trees. And maybe we should have figured that out a bit sooner, but at the time we didn't. Rain coming down. I wonder how many people have actually turned off the rain now, because they added an update recently where you could turn off the rain, because some people complained there was too much rain on some maps. I've not really experienced that, to be honest. I've never really thought there was too much rain. There were some people saying there was on some maps, so I'm curious to see if people actually turned it off or not. Right, we'll come back and do that middle bit. It was quite wide there. If it spins out, we'll just turn around and do it, but I don't think it will. Well, maybe. We'll have to come back on ourselves. It's not too much of the route at least, but there's a bit where I'll have to come back and redo. Down the middle. It's thinned out a lot here actually. In the middle bit here as well. Let's make sure we get the edge. That's fine. We knew we'd come back for some in the middle, but it's not the whole route at least. Trying to make sure we get the edge as much as possible, because if we have to pass a vehicle, the more asphalt on the edge there is, the more chance we're not going to get stuck anywhere. Right, just got to go back and do a little bit of the middle bit that's been missed. And then we're good to go and drive in the Wayfarer 2 here, getting that delivered, and then we see what's next. Will it add to the mission that we're currently doing, or will that be mission complete, I wonder? That's going to be the big question. Half of me thinks there'll be a convoy added, but I don't know. Maybe potentially cables, maybe. And that may be a case of us damaging our road to get the cables done the first time. Part of me hopes we can avoid it, but I also want to do it for the first time, as we've not done it at all through the whole base game. I've always managed to think ahead and avoid it. This time we couldn't really, because we didn't know really where we was going to be going with the cables. Up until now we have avoided it, and we still may avoid it, to be fair, because I think because of the radius you get when you actually put cables down off power, you don't actually have to join directly to it. If the radius goes over the road, we start on the other side of the road, there's a chance we can just go underneath without actually going over the road, without doing it into the road itself, potentially. Right, I've got this middle bit here as we hit the crest of the hill. And I think that is road complete. Finally. Taking us a while, but I think it's done. This middle bit's out of the way. And then it's driving the worst vehicle in the game time. I think that's it. Yeah. I'm pretty happy how it's gone. It's taken a little while, but the road is now complete. Park this over to the side in case we need it again. There we go. That is road complete all the way from the main power substation over the mountaintop and then veering to the right here. We may even have to put a road in here to link this over to this main road here at some point, just to make our life easier. Potentially, if we need a convoy, we'll have to do that. But the road goes all the way through the swamp. We joined it to the infrastructure road for the repair shop, which is now done. And we also linked it to our forest base as well to make our lives a bit easier. And to this road here. So, the actual mission itself that we've currently got on, Wayfarer time. We need to drive this all the way to the substation using our brand new road. We did manage to kill two birds with one stone though. We did do the infrastructure mission as well as the road that's needed for this. Now hopefully the road does what it's meant to do and we don't get stuck. There is a chance we miss a corner slightly and we get a problem there, but we shall see. I'm hoping this all goes well after the time we spent doing the road. It should do. If the road wasn't here though, we were never getting through this swamp. There was no way this was getting through there. Right, this is our first kind of test point, the corner. Made it as wide as possible to allow the turn. Obviously allowing for the trailer to come round as well. Yeah, pretty good. I'm interested to see how this handles the slope up the hill as well, to be fair. This was the other corner that we made a little bit wider to allow for the turn. The one thing I do forget when driving vehicles this long is the turn of the trailer. You know, turning late, trying to make it as wide as possible to allow the trailer to come round and not get stuck on something. Something I don't do properly, admittedly. It's one of those things I realise after doing it and then think, I should have done that earlier. Like that one, we took it too fast, too wide. We got ourselves slightly off track. Should be okay though. There we go. That was more driving mistake rather than a vehicle issue. Although the vehicle is rubbish. Okay, up the mountain we start going up in a second as we get around here. The route will bear left. Made a couple of land bridges over the cracks from the water running down off the mountain. I called it a mountain. I think it is a mountain rather than a hill. But the water's running down and it creates some reservoirs or holes in the places. This being one of them. They filled them with sand, natural land bridges essentially to make our road work, rather than the actual metal bridges. We can't make normal bridges on this map. As of now, we can't. But this map is designed for the bridge layers essentially. So instead of using those though, land bridges work just as well. So up the mountain now. The peak is just ahead of us. As we get a small plateau here. Don't want to get caught up on any rocks on the edges, so we want to try and stay more to the middle if we can. Allowing the trailer to get around the corners as well and not get stuck. Over the crest. See the piles of logs from the trees we cut down to make this route possible. That will also part of this mission as well, to be fair. And we're nearly there. It's such a smooth drive now. I'm so glad we did it. I know it took time, but it's made life so much easier. Okay, and we'll be careful how we approach the drop-off point, mainly because obviously that's mud and this doesn't like mud. I'll try going in here though. There we go, mission complete. Repair the main power substation is done. We're going to have some new missions pop up now. I'm just going to let it catch up on itself, because there'll be more than one. And then we'll see what we're going to do next. The plan is next, do a side mission. That is the plan. Area revealed as well. I'm not sure what area was revealed actually. May have been the pipe substation. Maybe that was what was revealed, I think. Because we'd already explored some of this to find some of that out. Yeah, I think it was this kind of area. Maybe. I don't really know. Sand quarry there, obviously we knew there was one nearby. Let's have a look. So, new mission, set up a new base of operations. Oh, wow. Where's that? Nicole Avenue. Deliver a vehicle. Where's that being delivered to? Ah, there's a new, we have a new base. So we've already got the forest base and the Highland base, I think it's called. This is a new one. New base operations. We don't actually know what's there yet, as we've not been there. There is a warehouse further down here we've seen before. We used that previously, I think. So tunnel exit base will be restored. And we've got to put power there as well, interestingly. This is why we did think maybe the road would need digging up. Although, I don't think we do. Yeah, so this was why we was thinking this road here may need digging up. But actually, we don't need to. The power coming from the substation actually comes past our road. So we can start the cables down here. So we don't have to dig our road up. So we're still going to avoid having to use that option. Repair the sawmill. To repair the sawmill, we need to build a road. We just built a massive road. So now we've got to build a road to repair the sawmill. It leads from the sawmill there, this way. We don't know where that ends up, to be fair, but there is a road need building. We kind of need to explore that, really, just to see, because if it needs extending to hit a proper road, we'll have to extend it. We have got a sand quarry here, so we won't have an issue putting sand down. And if anything, if we're going to put a road here, we may as well run it straight through here and connect to our road here to make it so this sawmill is more usable. And there's going to be a convoy at some point coming out of here. So we do need to make a proper road, I think, through there as well. So we'll have to make that longer than what it says. Use the backup pump station to drain the swamp. I thought we'd already drained the swamp. Oh, we have. We've drained the one up here from this pump station, but not this one, I think. So we've got to bring 8 steel beams and put power to there as well. Although we can get power from over here. If we need to, which will, no, we'll probably have to come. We'll probably come from here. Again, we won't need to damage the road, but we've got to get across the swamp, which may be the hard part, potentially. We'll see. We'll figure that out. So that's 3 new main missions, but we still will do the side mission first. We've had this one longer, so this is the mission we're going to do next. We need to restore the communication network. So we've noticed radio interference in the main power substation. To prevent further issues, help us repair the central radio tower. Deliver the required parts from the transit point to the central radio tower, where lines of communication will be secure. So there's 2 containers here to pick up by looks of things, and they need delivering up the mountain to there, the central radio station. Now, the route to here isn't too bad till you get to this kind of point, and then there's cracks. Although, looking at that, I think we can kind of go this way past it. We potentially can avoid the crack. The shadow's quite deceiving. I'm not sure how wide that is, but I think we may be able to get up there and avoid it. There's no other route up that I can see. But this route, and there's a big crack here, but again, I think we can come on around this edge and avoid that too. I'm not going to put a road there for the sake of it. I don't think it's needed. There are some rocks blocking the way here that may need moving. But we've got to pick these up. Again, we don't quite know size of these really at this moment. There's a road needed here. Oh, that's the road. Ah, that's the road to the base, isn't it? That'd be interesting to see properly, because I don't know where it's going to finish. They look like containers, but we're not close enough to see. In fact, I don't think they are. I think the 2 things we need to pick up are on top of the containers, but we need a vehicle that can pick them up, potentially with a crane attached. So I'm thinking the mules or the Voron would be ideal. Where's the mules currently? The one mule is over here. Trailblazer is there as well. The Voron's closer. So these are the oil pumps. Is it closer? Trying to see where the road leads. To get to here, it's this main road here. I think we may be better off with the Trailblazer, to be fair, because I think we've got to come across this bit here main road it up here, then down here. I think is the way. That track is obviously going to be awkward to use. So yeah, I think we grab the Trailblazer from our forest base, and we use that. We know the Trailblazer is one of the best vehicles to use. It's got the same stats as the Voron, so it's better than the base mule, but it's not better than the Voron. Stats wise, it's the same. So we use our road, but this time we won't cross the mountain essentially, and we'll see how we go. I think it's 2 flat pieces. I don't think it's the containers. The map can be deceiving sometimes as well with what it shows you and what the terrain looks like. There is a chance the terrain doesn't look anywhere near as bad as what it is. It could be worse. But looking at what it looks like, I've got a feeling that it's not the containers we're picking up. Now the only issue is, does what's there fit in the cargo bed of the Trailblazer? There's a chance it doesn't. If we can't make it work, we'll have to bring the heavy transporter over. But at least we've got a crane there, just in case. So that's the main thing. I don't think it doesn't really explain what it is you need to do, what the actual item is you're taking. Sometimes it does. It says containers. Currently, it doesn't tell us. It says bring the stuff over. But with all-wheel drive and diff lock, this thing this does get through most terrain pretty happily. So we should be okay going off the track over here. Yeah, the road is a lifesaver. Okay, so this track now goes to the right here. Again, you can see the big hole. We want to avoid that. We can go through the trees here, really, to get onto that route, I think. Should be okay. If we have to put a road in here, we'll do so, but we won't go near the hole there. We can get round it. But we may need to put a road in across here to join to the main road at some point. Depending how much we need. If we need a convoy along this route, we will have to put a road in. If we don't need a convoy, then we don't need to. Depending on what vehicles we need to use. But yeah, if we need to join to the main road here, we can. Currently, we don't need to. And considering we just spent ages building a big road, we kind of want to lay off roads for a minute and do other things, I think. Getting up the hill could be interesting. There is at some point going to be a convoy from here, though. This here is the steel pipe facility. That will have a convoy. We can see the yellow door. That means there'll be a convoy from here at some point. Right, we need to take this left-hand track here, where we're going. Okay, this bit we haven't really travelled on that much, so this could be interesting. Don't really know too much about the terrain here. Not too bad, to be fair. It's quite solid. It's not as wet as maybe it looks on the map. That leads into the swamp. I don't know whether before we pick this up we should check out that road that we need for our new base they want us to do. Because we're already here, maybe that would be a good option. Is just to go check it out. And that gives us a bit of heads up. Although we... no, that's not ours, is it? I thought we had a car here, a vehicle here. We don't. We're still a little bit away from it, to be fair. Where? Can we see a road anywhere? Yeah, here. There is a road there that leads down here, which is where it wants us to build this road, which connects to the new base operations. There is potentially a road behind it as well. I don't think it's worth, from where we are now, we're kind of in the wrong position to go and explore, really. We wanted to come out of the steel pipe facility and follow that road. So we'll hold off looking now. We'll focus on what we're trying to achieve first. Obviously, at some point, we're going to need to check it out. Okay, so I was right. It was not the containers themselves we need to transport. It is those two things. I think they'll fit in the bed. I wonder if we can stack them on top of each other to avoid two journeys. Or we put them sideways. We've done that previously with different things. Put them sideways. Works quite well. Maybe too far away, but let's see if we can just move them at the very least. Yeah, too far away. The crane on this isn't very long, but it will be alright picking them up. Let's just swing them across. So my thinking is they're going to sit across the bed, essentially. So that way, it just means we're not too top heavy. That's the only concern with things like this. If we put them stacked, they'll be top heavy, which in turn will have issues for us when going around corners. So if we have them a long way, it just means when we have to go through trees, we need to be a little bit more careful. Although I think we can follow main routes most of the way, so I don't think trees will be too much of a problem. Right, one is on. Can we reach our second one, or do we need to move? No, we can reach it. Don't want it hitting the other one, ideally. Yeah, that's fine. Hit us, but didn't hit the second. Now, the only problem with this is obviously our crane here needs to get above the other one to be able to turn. There we go. We could get the heavy transport and put these on that, but I think we're already here. We might as well use what we've got. And we have done this before with things. We'll want to straighten the other one up a little bit. Probably. Just want to bring it a little bit more to the rough same kind of width as the other one. Then we're only judging one width, not two. There we go. So it's strap cargo. There we go. We're all loaded and ready to go. We still have to be careful around corners. That is not the best way of loading a vehicle, admittedly, but they're on. It's better than being very top heavy. The weights we didn't really check out. How heavy are they? Yeah, you can feel it. They are fairly heavy. You can feel the weight when trying to turn. We do need to be a bit careful. No speed. We're not going to be able to utilise the speed of the Trailblazer, I don't think, at this point. We've got to take it easy. Now, let's just have a quick look at where we're heading and which way we're taking this. So we know we need to get up to there. There's no point trying to cut... Well, I say no point. There is actually a track through the swamp. Is there much point risking it rather than going round? So there is a track. We can just see it here. That leads off through the swamp and brings us over here to our road. And then from here we go up there. Trailblazer generally is very good in most wet conditions, so I think we should be okay to take that route. It's a bit of a risk. We could take the long way round, but I think if there's any other vehicle maybe wouldn't risk it, but I think the Trailblazer should be okay. If we do get stuck, we can send the scout vehicle to help pull us through. Let's see how we go. All-wheel drive is on. Not too bad so far. Trying to see where the road goes, because if we stick to where the road's meant to be, generally isn't too bad. So through this bit here. I think I'm heading the right way. Yeah, straight ahead here. It kind of bends to the left in a minute. It's not massively deep either, which is helpful. Obviously, if it's deeper, it will be more of an issue. And the natural road we've got is here. And then from here, bends around to the right. So around this bit of land here, and to the right. And then we can see the track again there. Generally, if you stick to a track, as long as it's not too deep, we're generally okay. In terms of mud and getting stuck, generally it's normally fine. There we go. Made it through the swamp. That wasn't that bad. It looks worse on the map than actually what it is, I think. And that's where the map is quite deceiving some of the time. You know, it does look a lot worse than what it is. I might have to look a couple of trees down here. I don't think we can get through. Oh, we can. Okay. Okay, now, this is a bit, it's a little bit awkward, is going up the hill. Or the mountain, I should say. We know there's possibly some rocks we need to move out the way of the crane. We'll just move the minimum we need to move to get up there. And if we need to get up there with anything else, then we'll move more. I think I've gone the wrong way. No? Up here. So yeah, if we'll move... there's quite a few rocks there, actually. More than I was expecting. Potentially we can get around to the left hand side according to the map, but as I say, the map can really deceive you. It's very uneven on the left hand side. Although saying that, I think we can. It's a little bit of a risk. We have got a big crane nearby, so if we need to pick ourselves up, we can. Again, if it was any other vehicle, I probably wouldn't do this. The Trailblazer generally, no. That was the risk we had. I think we're okay though. I stalled. Yeah, stalled. That's fine. We've got a big crane nearby. We'll go and pick it up. Thought we was going to get past that, to be fair. Thought it was okay. It was always going to be a risk, but one we could mitigate because we knew there was a crane nearby. It's when you've not got a crane anywhere near you, that's when that becomes so difficult. I still think we can get past the rocks, to be fair. I don't think we need to move them. So let's get back up the mountain. May even be able to place it past the rocks anyway with the crane itself when we lift it up, which would also make a difference. Right, that's where we was going. That's where we fell over. Yeah, if we go as far as we can here, we're getting a bit caught up on the mud. If we go as far as we can forward, I may be able to just place it past the rocks themselves. There we go. Anchors. I may have even lifted it enough anyway to not have to worry, but we'll see. There we go. Back on its feet. We do. I should be able to get past the rocks. Yeah, absolutely fine. So it was a risk we knew was potentially going to end badly. We mitigated with having a crane nearby anyway. So turn it. Come on that way. Okay, let's swap vehicle. Gold crane. Oh, engine running first, gold crane. There we go. And up we go. And this was the second pile of rocks that we saw. Again, I think we can just get around the side. We go up over this way to the right. If we need to use the track more, we'll have to move the rocks, but I'm trying to avoid doing that if we can avoid it. Come on, over the rocks. There we go. Right, we're just going to be careful how we come down off this ledge now. Now the next thing we've got to avoid along here is the big... We did see there was a big hole in the road further on. I think it's here. Okay, so this was the next bit to try and get round. It's where the water's kind of run down and create these voids. Now map-wise, it looks like we can go on this left-hand side, but that's the left-hand side. I think we can get up there. If worst comes to worst, we'll bring the big crane up and pick us up. But I think we can. Otherwise, we're going to try and navigate these other holes here. Well, they're saying that we could go through the trees because they do end. We either try up there, or we try and go past the trees and come back on ourselves through. Maybe the safer route is through the trees, isn't it? Go that way because them run-offs don't go very far. We should be able to just get near the main road and come back on ourselves. Obviously, we're quite wide because of how we put these on the back, which itself could be a problem with the trees. Right, we're through, we're okay. Right, I think we need to go left. And obviously the trees are going to stop us falling over too much if we do. Some trees can be knocked over. Stop there for a second. Yeah, we're past. We can go to the left of this tree ahead of us and still be okay, I think. These are all thin, small trees, so these will be knocked down when we go past them. There we go, we're through. Okay, next issue is this bit. So, we want to try and head to the left of this and go up this way. The only bit that's concerning me, and we didn't spot it because it seemed like a shadow previously, was there. But we should hopefully be able to navigate this. As I say, if we have to do more runs up here, we will then have to deal with a lot of this and put a road in and stuff like that. But the more we avoid doing now, the better, just in case this is a one-off trip. Okay, we need to go down here carefully. There we go. And then we're going up there. So we need to turn here and head up. There we go. This would be a lot worse if we'd stacked these on top of each other, because the height would cause us to be massively unbalanced, whereas this way we're wider, and yes, we can tell they're heavy by the way the vehicle's moving, but actually it's not that bad. It definitely could have been a hell of a lot worse. Right, I may be able to just drive these into location, or we may need to drop them off, I'm not sure. Let's see. No, there we go. Communication network has been restored after driving up the mountain. That is the second mission done today. We've done the main mission and a side mission now, so now we're looking at the main missions again. We're still second part of 3 parts of the map. The communication is now back up and running. So, the next one on here is set up a new base operations. That is what it wants us to do. I really don't want to, but okay. Only because I know what this is going to involve. We're going to deliver a vehicle from here. In fact, what vehicle is it? Oh, it's a Mule T1 utility truck. It's not a vehicle we've driven much, mainly because we have no real use for them. So, the two-way tunnel in the southwest can be used as a logistics hub. Transport the utility truck from the Nicole Avenue tunnel to the area and connect it to the power grid to establish a new base nearby. That is the plan. We've not been to this area over here, so we don't really know what we're in for, to be honest, which is a bit of a concern. It's quite a long drive as well from here, by the looks of things. Although we can use our new road to do some of it. But we don't really know the best route to get there. Now, we do know that it wants us to build a road here. Not part of this mission, but potentially linked to it. The only other thing we did see, Steel Beans facility, if you come out of there, we think there's a road that leads around the side past the transit point and down here, but then it does say it wants a road. This could be really swampy. We're not too sure. There is also a route this way by the sawmill. Potentially, we think the sawmill route leads to it, where we also need a road linked. So that road is going to link several places, we think. If we look at that, it shows you that route going over that way. Also, for power, we need to power this, it says as well. That's part of the mission. We need to give it power. So that's not too bad, because we know we can put the power across from the substation. In doing that though, I think we should do the power first, in case we decide we do need a road here. Whatever road we build, we may as well extend through, because we know there's a convoy coming out of there because of that yellow door. So we may as well extend whatever road we build through here. So before we get to building a road, we need to lay cable. Just so it means we don't have to destroy the asphalt. So we've never had to do so far. I've always avoided it by thinking ahead. Thank you for the like button, much appreciated. So in this instance, we need to think ahead again. And what I'm thinking is substation. We know we can get power. Go here. From over the side of the road, we have to go through the trees here. And I think if we put it onto the sawmill first, and then from the sawmill, we can then jump to this kind of corner and come across. We don't know what the terrain is like, but I think it's not a massive reach from there to there. So we should avoid all roads as well there. But just to allow us a chance to do it first means we can avoid destroying a road later. That makes the most sense to me. At some point, there is a mission to do it there as well, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. So we need our cable layer, which I don't know if it's out already. If it is, we may need to bring it back closer. Where is it currently is the question. Maybe it's not out. I didn't see it there. We may not have laid cables in this map yet, to be fair. Oh, it is a stump muncher. No, a stump muncher. Yeah, I don't think we've actually laid cables then. I thought we had, but maybe we haven't. Okay, cool. Our nearest base to it is probably northern base. We have got the Highland base there, which have been coming to here, pump station. No, in fact, our best bet probably is to come from the Highland base, looking at that. So that's what we'll do. We'll go to the garage of the Highland base and bring out our cable layer. There is only one cable layer in the game. Obviously, the main one, the rusty one and the normal one, but there's only one in the whole game. It's the Vostok TK53 Crot. To be fair, I've only just realised it's called Crot. Now, this vehicle has been amazing to us throughout the base game and DLCs, mainly because it's tracked and it does its job. It is also one of the vehicles that, if they do add a new one in the update in March, I'll be disappointed. I don't think we need a new cable layer. It does what it needs to do. I don't think you need more choice on a vehicle that's so specialised. Same as the rollers and the asphalt ladders. I don't think they need new ones because of their specialisation. You know, I think the Wayfarer would be nice to have a vehicle different to the Wayfarer that does the same job. Another heavy transporter would be handy. I also don't think we needed the wood vehicles, to be fair, that came with the recent update, to be honest, but they've added them, so they've added them. But yeah, there's a few vehicles I just think, oh, that we don't need seconds of because they're only used for one purpose. And as I say, this thing has never let us down. It's got through so many different terrains, through water, swamp, mud, never had an issue. Other than rocks, doesn't like rocks. That's the one. That's the one time it has an issue. Is rocky terrain. But yeah, it looks simple what we're about to do, but there's no guarantee the terrain will be in our favour. It could be really bad, and we just can't see it yet. We just don't know. That's the big thing. But it's the first mission on the list, so we do the missions in order. We swap from main to side as much as we can. And it's just doing them in the order we come across them. So we're coming along here to the oil pumps through here, and then we'll start from the main power substation and come down. So yeah, we just follow this road we're currently on to the oil pumps. This is obviously driving us through the swamp here as well, hence why we built this road a while back. But we needed to get a convoy through here. Was it a convoy or was it a one-off? It might have just been a one-off thing, but we needed to get through. So we built a road through the swamp. After draining it, of course. I think we drained it first. Could be wrong, we may have drained it after. Well, no, because the road will be really high compared to the water level. We drained it afterwards. Obviously this thing's got a bit of speed now, but when we start laying cable it'll slow down. I think we drained the swamp after we built the road, looking at it. Because the road is quite high up in comparison, so I think we built the road first, drained the swamp after. The mission may not have been up for draining the swamp yet, but we needed to get the infrastructure of a road in to make us able to travel across. But again, it's a road that makes life so much easier. Even after the swamp is drained, it's still not the best thing to drive on, as there is still lots of mud and water around, even though it's drained. So it makes the most sense to have a road to make our life easy. And even though this is tracked, so it generally does okay in mud and stuff, no point making it harder for ourselves when we don't have to. Right, we want to go through here, and then we're nearly where we need to be. But that road that it needs to be really interesting. Obviously we don't know what the terrain is like. We'll see all the vehicles there as well. Okay, so from here we are... Missed the exit. The exit's here. Too busy chatting away, I missed the turn. It's just here. Lots of metal here for when we need to make beams and pipes. There's also a couple of beams there if we need them. That we found when we cleared some of this out and we needed to change things here. Okay, so there's a sawmill straight ahead of us there. Isn't up and running currently. We're going to add power to it now, en route to doing the power to where it wants to the base. But we head right here first. And then we'll come back on ourselves, but probably through the trees. Even if we use the edge near the road as well, that may be a better option, depending how bad the trees are. Obviously this will get stuck in trees, so we do need to be aware of that when we start out. Whoa, that kind of spun a bit quicker than I thought. Showing off the cable layer's agility. Okay, so we're thinking of starting roughly around here on this left hand side of the road, because the power extends across, so we don't need to do anything on the road. The only obviously concern is the trees. There is a bit of an opening here. We did just pass some water, but we're nowhere near that. We are thinking basically going through this gap here as much as we can and get to the edge over here. That's our thinking. Now, in terms of power, just need to see where it starts. So we can start anywhere here. So if we come right to the edge of the road, last thing I want to do is damage that road while it's already built. If we can avoid that, the better. So we'll come out a little bit. There we go. We're in. Okay, so we're looking to try and head through the gap in the trees where possible. Thin trees will we knock down if we need to. But we want to try and avoid them where we can. There'll be a couple of times looking at the map just to make sure we're still heading in the right direction. It's so easy in these kind of areas to get off track and go slightly too far to one side. So we want to go a little bit left here, heading through that gap over there, hoping we fit through these trees here. So we try and utilise the map as much as we can, really, just always to make sure we're heading the right way. So yeah, we're following this bit through here, this opening, essentially. The actual terrain is fine, it seems. There's no rocks, it doesn't seem like. But that opening in the trees actually helps us massively. That's working really well. Okay, I'm going to double check here. So, I want us to try and stay straight, really, through this next bit. It looks like we should be heading more to the right, but we'll stay straight. Then the trees do come together a bit at the end, so may need to navigate that. Okay, yeah, there is a little bit of an opening to the right according to the map through there. Again, we don't need to come all the way in, we just need to get to an edge, which is roughly where this fence line is. We want to be here, so I think we can go through there. There might be a tight squeeze through a couple of trees. Fighting on the tree. That's really good, because it's behind us, you don't always notice the width of it. The two get stuck and it kind of bounces. You think, stuck aside. I think we're okay to get through here. Okay, what I'm going to do, if we bring it up, it'll close up and come through. Forward a little bit, and then start again. We should be past the trees. I don't know, go up on one. I think come forward enough. Because it reaches back, it's allowing for that extension. There we go. There we go, fine. And then I want to be a bit more to the left here. Just go through this fence line. I just put myself another tree. I tried to turn there, went on another tree accidentally. There we go. The other thing we always try to do with lane cables is avoid roads. Last thing we want to do is damage roads and make our life more difficult later on. Okay, that is another infrastructure mission complete, which is separate to any mission we're currently doing. It was just a case of getting this running with power. That isn't a main mission at the minute, but it's done. It may be later on we get a mission for it. We've already done it. Perfect. So now we want to drive through here and head to over here. Now, obviously we know there's a road being built. We can ignore that because we're going to start on this edge. So we've got two choices. We either follow this road down here, try and go through this gap maybe here, avoid going on the road where possible, and then from the warehouse come round. The lack of knowing the terrain is a little bit awkward in terms of knowing our best route, or we follow the road this way until potentially a turn off into there. That's our choice really. We could go down the road route, it doesn't matter because we're gonna have to build a road there anyway. I'm thinking start here and see what we find. I think that's our best bet. We don't really know what it's going to be like. That's the only thing. So this road kind of leads through here. I say we can follow the road. I'm guessing the road does link to the base, but we don't know for sure. That's the thing. Because the road kind of goes off this way. My guess is it links, but we just don't know. I'm thinking we just head up that way, to be fair. Through the gap. It is quite a steep slope though, looking at that, actually. And there's lots of tree stumps here. Which potentially could be a problem. It's currently a problem. My cork on a stump. Yeah, I was caught up on the stump there. Obviously it's a sawmill, there's going to be tree stumps nearby. I'm wondering if we can go up there though. If we can get through these stumps and look at where the power starts from, or the edge of the power, we might be able to avoid a lot of this. Not all tree stumps, am I? I would have avoided them all. Can't see one there. We're getting stuck on something though. Oh, I am on a tree stump, that's why. I didn't see that one there. You can knock tree stumps over, they will go away. But that one has disappeared now. We've damaged it enough they disappeared on its own accord. Come on, no. It's so difficult sometimes to see them. Right, I think we're okay. Let's get to this edge over here. They blend in so well sometimes, these stumps. Right, my thinking is up there. Where's the edge of the power? Well, so we're right on the edge now anyway. I'm just going to need to avoid these tree stumps here. If we start... Mine another stump. Definitely can't see some of these. There's no stump there, I don't think. Can't see what I'm getting stuck on. And there's a stump behind, a stump in front. It must be on one. We went backwards and I still couldn't see it. Yeah, it's there, look. I swear they're not appearing until you're on top of them, because that didn't look like there's a stump there originally. Right. Yeah, we're right on the edge. So, if we place this down now, may need to pick it back up just to avoid the stumps in a second. Yeah, we're going to need to. We come forward here. Okay, we're going to need to twist a little bit to avoid that stump to our left. Like that. And now we're okay. So we kind of roughly know where we want to be heading, but we're not too sure on what the terrain's will be like. I'm hoping we can make it up the hill. It's quite a steep hill here. We should be okay. Low gear's automatically on. Anyway. So we're trying to slide. We can on slope slide in this quite a lot, so we've got to be a bit careful of that really. Small trees aren't going to make a difference. So again, we'll avoid trees where we can. So spin a little bit to that way. And down that way. Okay, a bit of a plateau here which helps. Okay, the building to our right there, we don't know what that is yet. This is quite a large area. And looking at that, we should be okay to just go straight up, to be fair. Looking at it's quite a large circle of where the power can be connected to. So we should be okay just going up here. Don't think that's offensive to be knocked down, so we've got to, oh yeah, we should be okay though. There's the drawing just ahead. Big old place here. There we go, power is added. That is done, and there's also an infrastructure mission done as well as a mission that we're currently doing main-wise. We haven't really opened up much of the area, so we still don't really know the terrain very well. So I don't know if this road does join to it, to be honest. It may do, but I don't know where the join is. So the next part of this mission we've got to do is drive a vehicle. We've got the utility vehicle that's here. We need to deliver that to the base over there. It's a long way to go. Now, I think our best bet is probably this main road along here and come through the steel pipes and come down here. That's my thinking in terms of the connection point to there. Either that or we get to here and just drive up here. And then we just got to find a way in somewhere along here. Because we've kind of made our own route now, but I don't know how viable that would be. Or we come round and hope there's a join up there. What is our best option here? I wonder if it is, our best option would be to come down to the warehouse and follow this road round. Because that must join there, would be my thinking. I think that is our best option, to be fair. Yeah, let's do that. I think that is the right way of doing it. Obviously, we won't know till we're doing it. We may find we're going. We can't get in from that way. Maybe. Utility vehicles aren't too bad to drive. They're generally quite good, fairly stable. Just got to be a little bit careful in corners. Obviously, if we tip it over, we can't help ourselves out with a crane, as there isn't one. So we're going to be careful on some bends and edges. All in all, should be okay. Shouldn't get stuck in too much mud or anything. It should be okay. It's exactly the same as the mule and the Trailblazer because it is a mule vehicle. The difference is the back of it. That's really the only difference. So if we follow our road that we did recently up the mountain. So we're going to come this way, up the mountain, come down to the power substation and follow that round straight down to the sawmill. And we either go the route we made here or we go round. I think probably round. Mainly to play it safe, because there is a hill there. I don't want us to get caught up on the edge of the hill and roll over and then we have issues. Because we'll need to get a crane and anything there. So we follow our road we finish off today, through the mountain, head down to the sawmill, and then follow that route further down. Again, the terrain may get tricky. We may need a scout vehicle to pull us out if we do get stuck. But I think that is our best option at this point. Because we just don't know the terrain that's there. But it will reveal the area once the base is up and running. So we'll then know the area a bit better and work out what to do from there. There are 2 main missions already on as well after this one. No more side missions currently. We're just taking it a little bit easy just to make sure we don't make a silly mistake with this. I'd rather take it a little bit slower and make it there in one piece than have to go and get a different vehicle to come help. That's the thing. Okay, so far so good. Obviously, our new road is fine. Yeah, it'd be interesting to have see what's revealed when the base is up and running, to be fair. Although hopefully there'll be a point that gets us to that road that wants us to build. It means then we can pull all the vehicles there. We have to drive them there ourselves. We can actually pull them to the garage and be there, and that road will be just hoping to be nearby, rather than having to drive them there from all the different places they currently are. Anything to make life a little bit easier is better. But there may be more to this. Once we deliver the vehicle, it may still add something else to this. It may not. It may say mission complete, base is yours, but it may also say you need to deliver this, this, and this. It can change. That's the thing. So the thing to be aware of with all the missions really is they can be more added. You think there's only one thing to do, you do it, and there's a lot more to do on top of that before it's done. But having done the base game and the DLC to now, we kind of know what's about to happen. We can predict it at the very least. Okay, we're going to follow our road, take a right here. We're following it down, essentially. As I say, we'll probably join to this at the sawmill when we make the other road that's there. There's no point not joining it. We know there's going to be a convoy either start or end point there, the sawmill. So we'll deal with that when it comes to it, but we'll join the road properly, I think. Okay, I think we're heading straight ahead here. Yeah, straight ahead, not turn off until we hit the sawmill. So far so good. I don't think it's worth the risk going up the hill where we laid the cable. I think that's probably too much of a risk of falling over. I think we are better following the natural track that it's got. Obviously the terrain will change, but I think it is the best option. So we're heading up here to the warehouse, and instead of turning off into the warehouse, we're going to carry on. Saying that, actually, this may be a wrong decision. Look at that. I think we went through the trees last time, didn't we? Because the plan is to follow this route this way. I think we need to go through the trees. Because previously we picked up some items here to take to the oil pump, so we know we can get through the trees. I'm now contemplating going that way, but I don't think we should. This is where we could make a mistake though and this thing roll over. And we're only assuming that track leads to the base. We don't know it does. But I think it's our best assumption, to be fair. Be careful through here. Small trees will be knocked down, it's the big trees that won't be. Okay, go along this edge. There should be an opening coming up we can come through. I think some of the trees have regrown since we last came through here. There we go. Okay, so our thinking was follow this track. Where's the track go from here? Oh, we've come out over here, that's why. I'm trying to think, where's the track? We've come out a little bit more to the left. Yeah, at some point we may need to put a bridge in there, may need to road it, we don't know yet. All depends what it requires us to do in terms of what missions come from it. So, we're hoping this track does lead us to where we think it's going to take us. But we could be wrong. There's a quarry here. So we didn't know this quarry was here, obviously you can see it now, although it's not quite on the map. Is there a road through the quarry is the question. I don't think there is, you know. No, there's no road through the quarry, but I think we can get up there. It looks like there's a track, but I don't think it actually leads there. So what I'm thinking is we go to the right hand side and go up that hill there. We're going to go a little bit off road, but I think that's a better option. We could drive round and find the track that joins up, but I don't think we need to. All being well, we should be okay going up here. This is the thing when you just don't know what's coming up. You've kind of got to guess. Oh, we can't make that slope. Okay, coming down slowly. We go to the right here. It's just too steep for us. And then to the left. Careful here. It's where things can go badly. There we go. Alright. We do want to head to the right here. I'm just trying to find a more natural path through. Yeah, I think we need to potentially go along this ridge. Probably should have followed the road, to be fair, or the track. Not being able to see exactly what's ahead of us. Well, it's nice taking a scenic route though, isn't it? Discovering some forestry. Ah, we can see it, we're here, we made it. I think that was a good shortcut in the end. A little bit worried about it at one point, but I think we're okay. So there is a road that joins there, but does that join to the track down there? We don't know, because there's a two-way tunnel there. So potentially, this track here only leads to there. We may not have made it past the trees, because this road seems to go right that way. But we shall see. Let's open up the base, unless it adds to the mission. This may be over, or we may need more. Let's find out. No, mission complete. The base of operations is now up and running. We have access to a tunnel exit base. New missions are now popping up, so we'll give those a second. And while it's doing that, there's only one mission showing up. We can now have an area reveal of what's around us. So we were right. If we'd followed that track, it wouldn't have made us to the base. So we were correct in coming up the ridge there. This road along here wants us to build as an infrastructure mission. That road will join to this road here, which is more of a track, and that will need fixing if we want to use this base, because we can't currently get out. So this base comes out of here, around here, and if we want to go this way, we've got some issues to deal with. There's also now a construction depot over here that needs finishing up. To get that up and running. There is also an issue here with the construction depot. I think we're going to need some bridges by the looks of that. And we have a two-way tunnel just there. And we have a, well, that's a quarry, but isn't actually said as a quarry. So if we want to utilise the sand from there, we need to get our scalper there to actually use that sand. By the looks of things, there is a sand quarry here though. So new mission is the side mission that's popped up. Get the construction depot up and running again. So we need to take a vehicle from the transit point over here and deliver that to there. Now we can already see the problems. There's two problems there, problem there, and a big problem here. Although actually this may not be that deep or muddy, because it's on a road, a previous road. It may not be that bad. Although we can probably sand and asphalt just that bit, to be fair. This track doesn't look too bad. If we had to put a convoy on it, I'm not sure how well it would do. And this doesn't need to necessarily go out this way. We may be able to get out the back of the transit point and come out here. And that will restore that. So we normally do one's main, one side. So actually I think we should do this construction depot up and running next, as we always do one side, one main. So to get this out, we're going to need to drive through here. Rather than go round, I think we can just come across. But we need to solve these problems down here, don't we? Now, if we want more bridges, potentially we need 3 bridges over here. There's no other route to here, is there? No. Yeah, no, there's no other way. So potentially we need 3 bridges. We can't build bridges, we can only use bridge vehicles. And for each bridge point we need from a vehicle, we need to buy them using 3 steel beams. And we haven't got any in stock currently. So my thinking is we need to get some steel beams made for these bridges here, so we can then grab them from here and bring them down. And then here potentially lay sand and asphalt. Do we need asphalt? May just lay sand to start with, and then if we have to do a convoy there, which probably more than likely will, or then asphalt it, but I think we'd sand it to start with. We're not going to do this road just yet. So for this, where does that sand quarry, does that reach? Sand quarry reaches not to all of this. So that there will be a bit of back and forth, it looks like there. But it's not too bad. That's where a scalper there would help. Potentially. It may not actually, because the reach of it isn't very long. No, it probably wouldn't help, to be fair. Okay. So, first of all, I think we need metal beams. I think that's the first point. So, a metal beam facility is over here, but we need metal. Now, what do we got? That's a bridge vehicle there. To be fair, we have got bridges we no longer need. So this bridge vehicle here could pick up this bridge, and then we could bring that back. We know we've got a second bridge vehicle nearby that's got a bridge on it that again we don't need. So we can bring that. That's 2 of the 3 we need then. Just trying to think where else we've got bridges we don't need anymore. Ah, we've actually got one here. So this bridge here, we actually made a sand track going round. We don't need that bridge. I don't think we need steel beams. I think we can get around this. If we pick up our bridges we've got laying around that we don't need anymore, we have got like 5 bridge vehicles. Because when we first started this map, it didn't explain that you can make new bridges. We always thought you needed 1 bridge vehicle per bridge. It was only after starting the map it tells you, after a little while, that actually you don't need loads of bridge vehicles, you just need 1. I think I'm too close. So we can pick up the bridges we're not using. And in fact, once that's done, we may actually sell some of these bridge vehicles, because we have a few of them. Say a few, we have a lot. I think it's 5. Right, attach. Bring that back in. Yeah, I think we lay the bridges and then we probably sell the vehicle. I don't know if we'll lose the bridge. I think we test it on 1. If we lose the bridge, we lose the bridge. I'd like to know if we can get rid of some of these extra vehicles we don't need. So we want to get this back to there. So it's tunnel exit base. So if we do recover, and we go to tunnel exit base, doesn't cost anything. We're just recovering it. So we haven't really looked around at the bridges we don't need anymore for a while. So it's handy doing this now, I think. So if we now just got to follow this out and we'll lay our first bridge there. First time driving down that hill though. And then we'll attempt to sell this vehicle, is my thinking. Just to see if we lose the bridge. If we don't, it means we get rid of some of these 5 bridge vehicles. We definitely don't need 5. And they're not cheap either, that's the thing. Not that we need the money. But I'd rather get rid of the vehicles if they're not needed than have them laying around. Just be careful on the slope. We do tend to start going quickly, it seems. Okay, so we know we've got to put some sand to the right hand side. Do we actually need to put sand there? Is it drivable? It looks fairly deep. We may need to put a vehicle in to see how deep it is. Because we may just be able to drive through. Because there'll be a road underneath that water, that's the thing. Right, this is the first bridge we need then. We might need to go closer, we won't know that until we try. Might be go back actually. Yeah, easily makes it. What I'm thinking is we go back a little bit here, just to give us a bit more room when we first get to the bridge. Because the bridge will move slightly when you first drive onto it. Just want to allow for that. Yeah, I think that's good. First bridge in place. So what we're going to do is take this back to... Should put handbrake on. And we're going to recover this again because I want to sell it and see if we lose the bridge. So if we recover that to tunnel exit base again. So obviously no bridge attached. That bridge is still where it should be. Open garage. As I say, we've got a few of these, so I want to make sure we get the right one. That's the only thing. It should tell us which one we're currently in at least. Where are they? All these bridge vehicles. Come on, where are you? There. So we do have 5. We definitely don't need 5. So this is the one we currently have, and we can now sell it for 70,000. I did say these were expensive. The only one that can't be sold is a rusty version, which is fine. So we're going to sell that. Vehicle sold. Okay. Now, is that bridge still there? Yes, it is. So once the bridge is off the vehicle, you don't need that vehicle. As I say, we didn't need 5. So we have a couple more we can now take. So there was one over here. Up here we can get rid of. Now there is probably some metal here we could use. Do we get rid of the bridge? Nah. Because we are going to need metal for more beams. I'm not sure if we get rid of the bridge or not. Although there's plenty of metal around, I would say. There's plenty of metal here. Although there is a fair amount there, isn't there? Maybe we don't get rid of that bridge. Maybe we get the metal from there first to make beams. I don't know how many beams we're going to need. That's the thing. In the future. Although there should be plenty of... how much metal's around? I don't want to do something that then we're going to regret later on because we should have left it as is. So there's some metal in the actual steel beams facility. There's a load of metal down here. And lots of sellables, but we don't generally sell things. And then here... In fact, there's barely anything there, actually. They're all small, little tiny bits. We don't need that bridge. We're all good. Right, let's go and pick the bridge up. I just needed to be sure. I didn't want to take the bridge away and then later on need a bridge. This is the rusty version, isn't it, I think? That's fine. We can still place the bridge with this. Yeah, even the bridge itself is rusty looking at it. This is just saving us a bit of time in terms of we don't have to make steel beams currently by picking up the bridges we've already got around us. No longer needed. Because otherwise we needed to make 9 steel beams potentially. Okay, again we're going to recover this back to the tunnel exit base, and then we can drive this over the first bridge we put down and put this down as the second. And then I think I might quickly grab a scout vehicle and just chuck it in the water to the right hand side and see how deep it is. If it's smooth and not deep, probably could drive the vehicle from where it is now straight to the construction depot, and it shouldn't be too much of a problem, potentially. There is also a chance this mission won't just be to deliver the vehicle. It may get added to once it's done. It may not, but it may. It's interesting, the bridge on the rusty vehicle is rusty too. That's a little bit of detail I hadn't noticed before. If you buy a new bridge for this vehicle, I wonder if that gets rusty too. Because in theory, it should, or shouldn't, because you're buying a new one. Whereas this is the one that comes with the vehicle. Because we haven't added a second to it. But I wonder if that does go rusty as well. Compare this to the one that's already down. There is a difference. Right, getting across this bridge, we've got to be a bit careful here. Okay, we're over. So this was our next bridge point we needed to do. It's just here. And there's one the other side as well. So we don't want to be too far off the kind of where that one comes off naturally. We don't have to turn too much, essentially, is what I'm thinking. To be fair, we probably could get away with a smaller bridge vehicle here. Because that is a tiny gap, isn't it? Is it overkill with a big bridge there? There is a smaller bridge vehicle. We do have one. We just don't really use it. I think we probably should use it though in this instance because I think that's too big for the gap. Yeah, we're not going to give ourselves enough room off the bridge. That's the only thing. So if we spin this round, I need anchors off. Be careful where we put this, but I need it nearby, and not in the way. Just there. If we go back to our high tunnel exit base now, the smaller bridge vehicle, we'll get that out. We do have one. I don't think we've used it yet on this map. Sure we have it. Just finding it. Where are you? So they're the big ones, the Vostok. They're the ant. And then we've got... Oh, it's not there. I need to know the name of it. So that's the one we've got 3 of, plus the rusty version. That's the ant. 12-meter bridge. There is a secondary one that is a smaller bridge. There we go. The Taiga. And that is a 6-meter bridge, so half the distance. And I think that middle bit doesn't need a 12-meter. In the 6 minutes time. We do own one of these. So it's a Taiga. So I now know what we're looking for in the shop. In our garage. So the Taiga is what we're looking for. Sometimes the picture doesn't give it away exactly what you're looking at. So these are the Taigas. There we go, it's that one. So deploy that. Ah, no! This hasn't got a bridge on it. That's annoying. It doesn't have a bridge because it's obviously on the previous map. So what we did find when we started this map was if we put a bridge down on the previous DLC map using these vehicles and didn't pick it back up before coming to this map, there's no bridge. I still think we do need to use this one. I think we haven't got much choice because I think that space we're going to have to use there is too small. So I think what we need to do is we need 3 metal beams. We have 2. We actually have 2 already there. So we just need some metal for the 3rd one. And then we just need to get them back to the Highland base over here. What vehicles do we have nearby? That's a scout vehicle. Do we have any other vehicle here? What's this? A scout with trailer. Don't think we have a vehicle nearby, do we? Something with a crane. But I don't think there's one nearby, annoyingly. Okay. It's a little bit annoying. Where is our small, our other ones? So the Mule T1 is over by the other base. Trailblazer is further south. Where's this one? Oh, that's further south as well. Okay, this one here is there. What we need to do then is recover that. Do we need to recover it? If it comes this way through here, so I think we can. There is a route all the way through because we made this road here, didn't we? It leads all the way through here to here, which we can get through from over there. Okay, we're going to drive this from here over here, pick some metal up probably from the warehouse on the way, and go and make the beams, then take the beams to the Highland base, deliver them there. That will then enable us to buy the small bridge for the bridge layer that's currently sat at the other base. That makes the most sense. We could buy another small bridge vehicle, but we're still at the same thing. But we can actually pick the metal up from here. Thinking about it. We don't need much because we only need 3 beams and we've already got 2 in stock there. But while there's some bits of metal here, we'll just pick them up from here. So we cycle the beams. Yeah, I think it's pretty. It makes sense why it doesn't have the bridge on it now, because you've deployed it on a different map. It does make sense. It's just a little annoying, especially when you haven't got beams in stock. But then maybe that's an us issue, isn't it? We shouldn't have got the beams, or beams made. Maybe we did have spare 3 on purpose in case we needed them. But then we used them, and we could use the big bridge, 12 meter, instead of the small one. But I do think it's going to cause us issues when trying to traverse from one bridge to another, because it's so big. I think it's taking away a lot of space, especially for longer vehicles. If they need to use that route, if there's a convoy as such, we want to allow enough space, so a smaller bridge is probably a better option. Okay, I think that's plenty. We don't need too much in there, and I don't want to keep filling up with small bits if we can avoid it. So that's all on board. As I say, we've got 2 already in stock. We just need a 3rd made. So we're going to head out of here. There is another. That's the other bridge that I was going to use, big one, but we'll leave that where it is for the time being. We head along this way. This is the Mule T1. So this one, similar to the Trailblazer, it's 1 stat worse in stability, and that's it. And has been our go-to vehicle for the majority of the game, alongside the Voron once we unlock that. But between the 2 of them, they've done most heavy lifting throughout the whole base game and DLC. Mainly because they can carry stuff and have a crane on. If there's more vehicles like this, we'd use them more too, but there's been 2 until the Trailblazer came along in the DLC. They are just indispensable because they're just so versatile. That's the thing. And if you go and go somewhere to pick something up, you don't need a separate crane because it's all in one. So it just makes the most sense to use it majority of the time. Right, let's just double check our route here. So we're going to head through. I want to hang on. Are we following this route or not? I think we should have turned. I think we're meant to come up here. Yeah, we're meant to have come up here. Yeah, we need to go back a little bit. Not too far. But we should have turned that way instead of this way. That's why it made me think maybe we should check the route. I'm not 100% sure I made the right turn. You can put markers down to make sure you make these routes the right turns. But we haven't done that throughout the whole game, so it's a bit hard to get used to. Right. Along this way. Trains not too bad. We have used this route previously, hence why there's a bridge and stuff. We had to go and get that new base up and running. We have used this route. And we put a bit of sand here to make it so we can get across here. We never needed to make a proper road there because we didn't use the route that much. There was no convoy coming through. Generally, convoys are what tells you, makes you build a road most of the time. I don't think we're going through there. I'm sure trees regrow because I'm sure we've traversed this previously. I'm pretty sure the trees, if we'd come this way, the trees wouldn't be there still. We would have knocked them down. We just want to skip through the trees here if we can and come out on this road over here. Small trees will just fall over. We'll knock them down. So be careful with the slope and not sliding down though. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. We have got a crane to save us if we really need to. It only works until the engine cuts out, so still got to be careful. I say we've traversed this route before, so we have gone through the trees because of that big hole previously. But the trees seem to have regrown in the meantime. Which is not surprising, the map having to remember every tree we've knocked down. Rather than cut down. I think cut down obviously would be easier for the computer AI, whatever you want to call it, to remember, because it's cut down. Whereas you've knocked them down, I don't think it's going to have the same messages or the same code essentially. They may not remember those. Can I should really put more metal in the back, but I don't think we need it. Okay, so from here, we want to come down here and take this route along here. No, we don't. Hang on, I'm facing the wrong way, that's why. I turned the map around so we can see where he's going. It's confused me massively. We're currently here. We didn't need to come into here, did we? Yeah, we did. We want to go up here and this side, over this bridge, and follow this route. Hang on, do we? No. We do want to go that way. We want to go up here. We want to go up to our road up here and follow that. It's so confusing. The thing is, you get to know a map, and then you finish the map and move on. And yeah, we haven't done a lot of these routes that often. The early missions sent us this way, but after we did them once, we didn't really have to do too much more. So trying to remember exactly where things are is tricky. Well, I find it tricky anyway. Now, I think there's a spur off from this road. There is to the right. We follow that, and that will take us near enough to the metal beam facility. Yeah, I've not been this way in ages. We've been working on the more of the western side of the map, so we've not actually been here for a long time. But it seems that way anyway. So, another road through the mountain, which obviously we have a habit of doing these long roads because it makes life easier when you need to use them, rather than trying to traverse dodgy routes. Don't know if there's a convoy due this way though. That's something to watch out for. Because obviously the convoys just keep running until they fail, so once we've got all the rewards. Well, I think we're okay. I don't think there's a convoy here then. But this road will lead us right near where the steel beam facility is. And then head to the Highland base with the steel beams, put them in stock. Get the new one for the small one, and then we can link that route. And I think we'll just try and traverse the water. I think it shouldn't be too bad. Right, the way into that is up here. Probably would have been quicker if we took the Voron to the Highland base, to be fair. I thought it was closer than what it was, according to the map, but actually I think it would have been a lot quicker for us just to have brought this to the Highland base, picked some metal up and gone that way. Does seem to have taken us a little bit longer going this way. But it doesn't matter, we're here, that's the main thing. Right, let's unstrap. Okay, we've got 4 in stock. We'll take all 4 now, and we'll just get them in our Highland base. They're all in stock, aren't they? And if we need an extra, we've got 2 on the floor actually elsewhere that we can use if needed. Near the pumping station, which isn't far from our base, the new one that we've just done, so we can always use those if we need more. So we'll chuck these in the back. Doesn't really matter how they go in as long as they're in. Four isn't enough weight to really worry about, so that's why it doesn't really matter how they go in. And then we'll go to head to Highland base, drop these off, and then we'll switch back to the small bridge layer. Fire bridge with 3 of the beams. Although, weirdly, so for a full-size bridge, which is 12 metres, on the bigger bridge layers, it is 3 steel beams for a new bridge. For the smaller one, which is half the size, a 6-metre bridge, it is still 3 steel beams. You'd think it'd be less because you're getting a lot less of a bridge out of it. You're getting half the size. But for some reason, it's still the same price as a big bridge. I know you can't have 1.5 beams, obviously, but make it 2. Make it so there's a discount, surely. using half the materials. But obviously not. Obviously, we've not tried to buy a new bridge for the small until now, so we didn't know it was the same price, to be honest. But yeah, I think there should be a change there, really. It's a bit unfair, isn't it, paying the same amount for half the size of bridge? Right, Highland Base. So from here, we're going to follow this road onto our other road down here, and just keep following it down until we hit the sand, then come round on ourselves and down there for the Highland Base. It looks a long way, but actually when driving, it's not a long way at all. But yeah, a lot of these roads were built very early on this map. This one, I think, was an infrastructure mission, this road here. The other one through the forest wasn't, I don't think, but we did that for our convenience. But we have, I think we've built some of our longest roads on this map. It's the DLC map, the final one currently. It's surprising we're only just doing these massive long roads now. Base game we did some decent sized ones, but nowhere near the size we're doing here. But then maybe the map's harder in that way, that you need more of this infrastructure to actually traverse. Where are we going from here? We want to take a right and keep following. Just making sure we don't go the wrong way. We follow this, we'll go past the quarry. We can follow the sand route round on ourselves. There we go. At some point we may make this into asphalt, but at the minute sand seems to do okay. The more we utilise the route, the more the sand will be an issue though. And then may need asphalt in, because the routes do degrade, that's the thing. The more you use the route, the more it's going to degrade. If a convoy uses it a lot, it will get worse. Mud is worse, obviously they will degrade quicker and be more tricky. Sand does do the same thing over time. That's why asphalting stops all that. Asphalt doesn't degrade at all. That's why sometimes it's just easier to just do the asphalting rather than just leaving sand. You know you're going to use that route a lot. And some vehicles like the Wayfarer still struggle on sand, same as they do in mud. You'd think the sand would be better, but it's not that much better. Having the Vor on over this side of the map is probably quite helpful because the other two are over the other side. So it would be handy to have a vehicle here. We have got enough money if we need to buy another mule or another Voron, we can. But one of each is probably enough. I think we can get around not having to buy new vehicles just to make our life easier. I think one of each is plenty because we can move them around where needed. We do own, I think, just about every vehicle. There's a few little ones we don't own because they're too small and haven't really been any use for the whole game. And there is another woodworking vehicle we haven't bought yet, which is the log forwarder that came out with the recent update, which we do need to buy and use, which I'm assuming we're going to use shortly because of all the logs we've got. I'm guessing the sawmill will take them. At some point we probably will, to get the sawmill back up and running, we probably need some logs. But those 4 steel beams are now in stock, so we can jump back over here to our latest base, the tunnel exit base, and into our vehicle, which isn't showing. Oh, it's over here, there we go. Into our vehicle, and now we can purchase our new bridge. There we go. Our 6-meter bridge is now purchased. So now we need to drive this across to where we're going to put the bridges in place. We've got the 12-meter bridge already there waiting. And we've already done one 12-meter bridge as is. This one is a lot easier to see where you're going with this bridge. A lot easier than the 12-meter. Vehicle handles better, I think, as well. This wheel's not tracked, so there is a difference in handling. Tracked vehicles are really good in mud and dodgy conditions like that, but handling can be tricky. Whereas obviously wheels, not as good in mud, but actually can be handled better. Plus we can see over it. Doesn't make a difference. Okay, so we're placing a small bridge over the other side of here. Make sure we go across the bridge straight as we can. And then after that, we're placing a 12 metre the other side. Okay. Good stuff there. Anchors on. Ah, I didn't realise that. This bridge lays differently. I thought this was the same as the other one. Obviously not. We haven't used a small bridge in so long, I didn't actually realise it did things differently. Right, we need to turn around essentially. There's little details in this game that you don't notice immediately, but the window wipers in the vehicle are working when it's raining. Didn't notice that till just now. I think that's the first time I've ever noticed that. So many little details that work so well. Right, we want to be kind of straightish with the other bridge. So when you come off this bridge, you're not having to change direction too much. It will make life a little bit easier with bigger vehicles. So I want to go across this way. Don't quite know exactly how this goes in terms of laying it down, so we may need to come forward a bit. Can't quite see across enough to see if that's okay. I think it is. Yeah, perfect. So bring that back. And then we'll get rid of our anchors. We do need to park this somewhere out of the way, so this left hand side will be okay for the time being. It's quite nice to actually use a small one in conjunction with a large bridge as well, to be fair. Okay, over the small bridge. Again, just to be careful coming across here. Should work down both sides. Probably go a little bit more to the left here. And then we're putting our bridge again up here. I don't really want to have to turn too much coming off the small one. I'm going to avoid it. For that we need to put a bridge here. So, anchors. Maybe a small bridge would have been better here. Looking at the difference. Although we can go back a bit, I think, maybe, and it will be okay. I'll have to lift it up a little bit. I don't want to drag it across the ground and move the bridge behind us too much. Because the front of the bridge is still down. But yeah, maybe the 12 may be overkill, to be fair. That's the only thing. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I think potentially 12 metres overkill, but I don't think we have much choice. Unless we make more beams, but I don't think we need to. I think that should be okay. Redetach. Well, actually, that doesn't work, does it? We need to attach. So, because it's so thick at the bottom, I don't know if this works. I think we may need to make more beams. We need 2 more. But I think we're going to need a small bridge here. Or, hang on, maybe we bridge to here instead. So across here. So it's flatter. Because the problem is we're going up there, whereas there we're not. I wonder if maybe we go to the side here. And anchors down. Maybe tip over. Camera went a little bit weird, couldn't see what it was doing. But yeah, I think maybe we come to the side. So we're not facing up essentially. If we turn, look at anchors now. Yeah, I think maybe we come across here. The only thing I'm not sure of is coming across there, that bridge. It may be a bit of a tight turn. Let's see how this goes. Again, it may be too long. We may need to go and get another small bridge made. It's hitting the rock, isn't it? Okay, let's go Anchors off. Let's go back a bit. Okay, we're not on the rock anymore at least. Don't even know how doable it is once you're across, to be fair. Let's detach. How does that sit? Well, it's over there. I don't know how well that's going to work. That's my only issue. Don't really want to drive this across to find out, because if we need to move it, this is what we need to use to move it. What I think we'll do, we're quickly going to jump in the small bridge layer just to see if this works. It may work. It just looks a bit awkward, but I don't even think a small bridge would have worked, because you're going up. Because there's the thick beam at the bottom of the bridges is what was causing the problem. So I don't think a small bridge would have been any different. So the turn across to this bridge is okay, as long as you don't do that. But yeah, you come off this one quite nicely and come across to this one. It's rough in the air a little bit there, isn't it? And then coming off this, you can come straight up here. And yeah, it seems to work okay. It looks awkward, but it actually works. So, I think that's the bridges sorted for the time being. I do wonder maybe... Oh, actually, that's a good point. Could we put a bridge there instead? It's still higher. The problem is, I think the problem is the height. Or if we put it down from up here, it's not the same issue. It's going to hit that lip of that edge no matter what we do. So I think that's okay. I think that's that bit solved for the time being. We're going to drive the vehicle from the transit point. We're going to cut through the trees here. Hopefully we can, and then come down this road here. The only bits we're not sure of is these bits of water. We'll go in. If it's too deep, we'll reverse out, and we'll have to put some sand down. But we'll see if we can avoid doing that. All depends how deep they are. The biggest thing, really, with the Azos is going to be... This hasn't got all-wheel drive, and it hasn't got diff lock. They're the only issues with this, but we want to see if we can get across, because otherwise we've got to drive over this track. And is that a track, or is that just where the water's come down? I don't know. I'd say we're going for the trees. It may just be able to go that way. Let's not risk the trees. I thought this would have all-wheel drive. It doesn't. So obviously the issue with that is it's not going to be good in dodgy terrain. But let's not let's not try and risk it through the trees. Let's go this way and left. Obviously, no all-wheel drive, you have this issue. We haven't had a vehicle with no all-wheel drive for a while. It's already getting stuck. Low gear, will that help? The answer is no. Maybe we should go through the trees. Wow, that got stuck it quickly, didn't it? Don't know if we can get out of this either. We've not had a vehicle with no all-wheel drive for a very long time. Okay, I think we're towing it. Luckily, we have a base nearby. So we'll jump into our base here. We just need a scout vehicle. It doesn't matter which one, really. What's not being used currently, that's out. The mutt isn't being used. Let's use the mutt. I would say it's a rusty vehicle. If that's a rusty one, we really should replace it. I want to double check that. If it is a rusty one, we need to replace it anyway. It's not for sale. It's a rusty version, isn't it? So is there a better mutt then? I hadn't actually seen that. Obviously, it's a DLC vehicle added recently. But in theory, then, there should be a proper version rather than a rusty version. Let's have a look. Invictus. Step. We're looking for the mutt. Trailblazer, Pioneer, Vostok. That's a kit. That's it, isn't it? Is that the same one? Amiga Thunder Expedition. I haven't seen anyone called the Mutt. So I think that is the right one. Surprisingly. Manamu, Thunder Sar. That's really weird. Victus, we've been that way. Yeah, I've not seen one called the Mutt before. And I don't seem to be able to see the non-rusty version. Which is really weird. I think it's that. TUZ119 Mutt. TUZ119 Mutt. What does it come under? Okay, so if we go to there, that's all the scout vehicles. It's not that one, is it? That's Expedition. Lynx, Amiga Sar, Manamu, Rescue. There's the Lynx. It's not there. That's really weird. There is so okay. I don't understand. Normally, whenever you get a rusty version, you can't sell it, but there's always a fixed version you can buy. This one doesn't exist. Weirdly, it doesn't matter, but it's just surprising. I say normally there is a proper version to buy. That's the one we were just looking at there. In fact, let's deploy the SAR, and we will send the other one back. Rusty vehicles are fine, but the stats are so low, it's not worth using a lot of the time. It looks big though with the wheels, doesn't it? I'm just surprised. I don't understand. I don't want to do that. Oh, it's yeah. Okay, I do. I need to put it back in, don't I, from the garage itself. That retain. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I'm not sure why we can't buy a proper version. I might regret actually not using it because we're going through water, but we shall see. Now this should be able to pull the other vehicle that's now stuck in the mud. I think once the vehicle's on the road it'll be fine. But lack of all-wheel drive is the problem. That's why it's already stuck in the mud. We should have known it was going to be an issue. The minute it had no all-wheel drive, unless you're using a main road or an asphalted road, it's going to be a problem. And that area, getting out of there is no road. That's the only thing. Right, well, at least we're going to test out the water area. My guess is it's not very deep. It goes a fair way actually. I think it's a bit deeper than I was expecting there. Deeper than I expected, but doable. I think at some point we will need to sand it. For the time being it's fine, but I think at some point we will need to sand it. Okay. So just along here to our right, I think is where our vehicle is. We may just end up towing it the whole way, just to save us time. We keep going up. It's past, there's water on the right, so past that. But yeah, it's never going to traverse any of this if it's stuck already. So it may tow it the whole way, I think. Even through the trees, potentially. Okay. Yeah, we should have probably... I don't think it would have made it through the trees anyway, the lack of all-wheel drive, but it would have been the better option, I think. But we'll get it out of the situation it's in and then bring it through the trees. But yeah, I can't believe it got stuck immediately. Although do I want to tow it through the trees, that's the only thing. Towing any vehicle through trees is never fun. We did think we could traverse left here. To be fair, I think we can. I think we try up there. I think it'll be the safest route. There we go. We'll put towing on as well, so it has its own speed, its own engine running too. Just helps us a little bit. Right, my thinking is we head left here. I do like when I tow a vehicle up as close to our vehicle as possible with a little bit of room to move, but close is good. I find anyway. I don't know if it's the proper way of towing a vehicle, but I prefer it close. Right. Just look what we're doing. So I want to go straight essentially, and we should hit the road if this goes to plan. If it doesn't, I should have gone through the trees. This definitely is struggling to pull it, but I think a lot of it is down to the other vehicle not having all-wheel drive and this not being a road. I think once we hit the road, it'll be fine. But yeah, should have known a non-all-wheel drive vehicle driving it anywhere was going to be a problem. Although we're not hitting a road, are we, Starring? It's all track. So again, it's going to struggle. Yeah, we could have used a bigger scout vehicle maybe to tow this. It would have been better. Although we're getting some speed now. Now it's on a bit firmer ground. And then we're going to hit mud again now. Okay, follow this down. I don't want to have to tow it over the bridges, but well, I might not have to. It's over the other side. Maybe a problem though. Where you put that other bridge may potentially have an issue. Although we could take the scout over first, just in case it does have an issue. And then we can always tow it when it comes off the bridge if need be. Might be the better option. I want to tow it over a bridge. More room for error. That water that we saw as well near the tunnel exit base on the old road, it's a lot deeper than you think, as we saw. They sort of cleaned the vehicle, but yeah, it's a lot deeper than you think. So I think we will have to put sand at some point. This vehicle definitely doesn't have the power really to pull what we're pulling. Hence why it gets stuck occasionally. It struggles. It's doing a decent job, but it's not the most powerful vehicle for this job. There are probably other vehicles that will be better. And it's even with towing on as well. It's a lack of all-wheel drive that's doing it. We'll make it. It's just going to keep finding its grip, and every time it loses grip, we'll see us struggle a little bit more. Okay, we are nearly back on the road, so it will be better on that. It's better there, to be fair. Once it started having grip on the surface, it was fine. Okay, through the water. This was deeper than we expected, but it's okay. And grip wise it should be fine. You're still on asphalt. I'm guessing the asphalt is underneath the water. I don't think the asphalt's broken away, I just think it's flooded. Clean the vehicle though, at least off all the mud that was just on. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to drop the vehicle off before we go across the bridges. We go across the bridge with the scout, so if it does go across the third bridge and it's stuck, we can pull it. We'll tow it from there. So let's stop there. Attach winch. We'll drive the scout across first and then come back to the vehicle. We won't need towing over any of this, I don't think. But yeah, it's surprising how awkward it is without all-wheel driving vehicles sometimes. You kind of take it for granted because most of our vehicles have it. And it doesn't, you can notice the difference. You don't notice the difference, sorry. When you use a vehicle that doesn't have it, the difference is really obvious really quickly. just going to push that tree down. Right, I'm going to park this just ahead of us here, in case we need to tow it. And then we'll jump back into the vehicle. The vehicle is part of the mission, we just need to deliver this. Again, the mission may add on once we do this, we don't know. We shall see. Either that or it's another mission complete. That's the thing. Over the first one, absolutely fine. Second one. We don't usually drive vehicles like this either, just because we've not really had a use. Their only real use comes when you get them in a mission like this. That turn off that bridge onto this one is a bit awkward. Can't get the wheels to go where I want them to. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward turning off that first bridge, but just need to take it a little bit slower. Right, I'm going to try and go immediately left here and see. Get away without you needing the scout. I think we can get away with it. There we go. And we are here. So this should get the mission complete unless it adds to it. Let's see what it's going to do. No, mission complete. The construction depot is now back up and running. That's another mission complete, albeit a side mission, but it's done. We can now sell materials and buy materials here when we want to. We don't generally buy anything though, to be fair. Next up, repair the sawmill. So repairs require wood, so restarting the sawmill is essential. Begin by building a road near its driveway, then plan a route from the two-way tunnel to supply the necessary equipment. Finally connect it to the power grid. Now we've already connected to the power grid, so part of this mission is complete already because we did it as part of the tunnel exit based mission. We do need to build a road though. Now this road it wants us to build is from here to here. It's not a massive road by any stretch. We're going to extend it though. We want it to also come across here. The reason for that is there is a yellow door there, which means that will be a convoy at some point. And we need to be able to get out of here without the convoy getting stuck. So we want to combine it with the road we built there. So this will need extending. In terms of trees in the middle of the road, there is a few. So we're probably better off first and foremost going with the crayfish for any trees we need to get rid of. Then we'll get the vehicles and we'll get the AI to pour the sand while we're doing other bits and pieces. The other thing with this as well is, I forgot what I was going to say. It does say in the blurb of the mission, repairs require wood. We have got some wood to pick up using our woodworking vehicles, and the newest one when we get a chance or when we need to. But I think we start with the crayfish because I've got a feeling there's going to be trees to clear here. And maybe a stump grinder after that, to be honest. I could be wrong. There may not be any trees, but I think we'd better be safe than sorry in terms of these. We don't want to use the new vehicle. We did use the new blah, 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 tree cutter. We did use it previously, and it's that one there, the lesser rub. It's okay. Prefer the crayfish. So we'll pull the crayfish back and deploy here. I don't want to say it's completely rubbish. It has a use, but just not. It's not as useful as this one. But at least we tried it. We used it all for the majority of building the last big road that we started in the last one we finished today. Any trees for that, we used the new woodworking update stuff, including the tree cutter. So we gave it a good chance. But it's just awkward. It hasn't got the reach crayfish has. Not as quick as a crayfish. So I prefer the crayfish. So we do need to do a convoy, I think it says, as part of the steel mill restoration. Now the problem with that is this water here. We haven't sanded it yet. I still don't know whether I will. I think we might have to. Obviously, it's not too difficult to drive through, but it's deeper than you think. There you go. It's even getting a warning for deep water there. So I do think when we start sanding the road, we'll probably sand this bit as well first, just to be safe. I don't want a convoy getting stuck in there, drowning it. Thank you for the like, but it was much appreciated. I think the better option is just to be safe there. So the road is going to start here. We could probably extend this road and start from back down there potentially, and come this way to make this a lot easier, especially if there's a convoy. Because this, yeah, we may have to, because that would be really awkward, I think, otherwise. But let's start with trees first and foremost and see what we need to do. Is there any that need taking down? What we'll do, we'll knock down any that are in the path of there if we don't need to cut them up. If we need to cut them, we'll cut them. If they can just be knocked down, we'll knock them down. The ones that can be knocked down also can't be cut. It is one or the other. Right, there's a tree there. I didn't want that one, but we'll do that one now then. I wasn't going to take that one, it's the one next to it. Because when we put a road down, it's generally wider than what this is showing. So I wasn't actually going to take that tree there. I was just going to do the one there. It's on the edge of the road. But we'll do that one first. Stump grind is probably going to be required as well. Okay. I didn't want that to do that. That's what I was afraid of, I suppose, is actually going into the road. We may use the new log forwarder sooner rather than later then, because we are going to need to probably pick up these logs and move them. And we haven't used the newest log forwarder yet, so it's a chance to use it and see what it's like. But we'll clear the route first and then come and grab the logs. I should have thought we're trying to place it on a hill. It's always going to roll, but I didn't think of that at the time. Yeah, they were always going to roll, weren't they? I should have realised. Okay. Any others on this edge that we need to deal with? Obviously there's one to our left there. I think we'll take it down just in case. A lot of the ones that are standing on the edge will do this with the stump grinder. The stump grinder will be able to just knock them down as well. But it's a chance for us to use the new DLC log forwarder at least. Picking these up. I can push it down actually with this. There we go. We need to do it before we bring the stump grinder in, otherwise we might accidentally grind them instead. I'm glad we did this. I was umming and ahhing whether there were trees to be cleared, because obviously it doesn't tell us that, but we can see there's trees on the route. And I think it was a good decision in the end. I was going to start laying sand and find trees in your way. Is that a knockdown or a cut? I think it's a knockdown there to the right. And obviously we always make the roads wider than what it says, so I'm going to make sure the sides are clear as well, really. That one's going down. That one's going down. Big one to the right here. That one, another one ahead of us as well. This map may have the most roads we've ever built on by the end of it, the way it's going, because I think there's 3 or 4 as part of infrastructure stuff at the minute as it is, let alone for us getting to different places. And by the end of it, there's maybe the most roads in one map, to be fair, which is what's taking its time. The infrastructure side of stuff, making sure we can get from point A to point B. But I'm pretty sure there will be a convoy here, based on what it said to us. Okay. Avoid the stump there. Don't need to take that one down. This one ahead of us could do. Need it to actually show that one up. There we go. The one to the left there, it's away enough that I don't think it's going to matter. It's only ones that are going to affect the road, and even though it's wider, I don't think we're going to go up where that one is. But it can stay. We have got logs elsewhere to pick up when we need them as well. We're only going to clear these ones because they're going to be in our way. Because they're rolling down. There's no point just chopping trees down for the sake of it. I'm only going to get rid of the ones that are in the way. Affect what we're doing. Because we don't actually need them for a mission or anything at the minute. So I think it's a bit of a waste to chop them down unnecessarily. This one's too heavy. You get this sometimes with some trees, they appear too heavy and the arm struggles to lift them. I don't know what causes it, just occasionally you get the odd tree like that. I think it is the size. It's a weird one. I've had it a few times now, look. Okay, let's get around the stump. You're a knockdown. I think you're a knockdown, aren't you? Yeah, this one there on the left is a knockdown. And that one there as well. This is a knockdown. Yeah. The one there ahead isn't. No, that's a chop. There's another one ahead of that as well. There's actually quite a few trees to take down really here. More than I was expecting. I didn't think there was that many to actually get rid of, but actually there is. This will get the sawmill back up and running. Tree stumps are a bit wonky now. How are we doing for time? Wow, where has that gone? We're 3 hours in to our 3.5 hour stream. I don't know where that 3 hours has disappeared today. It's just gone. I feel like we've done quite a bit though. Obviously, we've got the big road finished. We've completed a couple of main missions and side missions, so we've started down 41%. That will have gone up. And even like this mission, we've done some of it without being told to do it. Because we've already collected power for the sawmill, and that's now part of this mission. We've already done it. That's part of a different mission because it was on our way. So that's going to save us a bit of time with this one. I know this is going to roll down. I'm just placing it because it's the easiest place to place it. Okay. Get the tree stump. That tree on the right there is a knockdown, I would assume, by looking at it. Yeah. Just knock it down now, then we kind of can see our route better. This one ahead here is a knockdown too. And that one on the left is a cut. I'm interested to see how the new log forwarder works compared to some of. We struggled for a while to find a log forwarder we could deal with properly. I do find them quite awkward. More the crane side of it I find awkward with the log forwarders. That's a knockdown. I think that's all the trees done then. Obviously we're going to extend this road through the sawmill, so let's just double check that we're all good. We may even cut across and maybe not follow the direct road, and we'll just cut across here maybe. We'll need that one down there. The plan is to come across and we'll take this one down just so our cut across road will be fine, and we're going to connect it to our other road that's nearby. So what we do, we get this out of the way and parked up. I think we need the vehicle to pick up stuff first. We will need a stump grinder here as well. We are probably better off picking up the logs, I think, first, just so we don't destroy them with the stump grinder. Let's just chuck this over here to the right. Try and avoid the stumps. This one out of the way essentially for the time being. There we go. Okay, Highland Base. We're going to grab the brand new log vehicle, log forwarder. I will get my words out. Now, which one is it? So there we go. It's the Aramatsu Forester Neo. This is the DLC log forwarder that's part of the Timberworks pack. They came out originally in November, then it was pulled because it made errors and was released again. I want to say December, but it may have been earlier this month, I'm not sure. We've used the other two vehicles already that came as part of this pack. It can lift 1 ton weight and can carry 15 ton, no different to some of the others, but it's how it handles as it's on tracks will be interesting. 62,000 to buy, we now own it. So let's have a look at that. Where is it? Prosecco. Oh, it's right in front of me. I'm doing blind. There we go. This is the Forest Neo. It's quite long, isn't it? To be fair. In fact, the camera on it isn't brilliant. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's a crane camera. Okay. Yeah, camera on it to drive is a bit awkward. I think it's because of how long it is. You have to go quite low to be able to see them. But once it's loaded with logs, this may be tricky to actually view from. Is there anything different on here? Grab plug, rotation. Just looking at what the different things are. That's all good, all the same. Now we've got to go through the water area first. Hopefully it's not too deep and it drowns it. It shouldn't do. Obviously it doesn't have the height because of the tracks rather than tyres. But yeah, once there's logs on the back, I'm not sure what a view's going to be like. If we have to drive from inside camp, we will do. It's just not the most ideal thing because you can't spot all the hazards that easily. Okay. So, we're going to turn right here. We've got 2 lots of water to navigate as a starting point. And then we're onto the logs. Let's see how it handles the water. Oh, I think we will sand this, but the minute we start bringing our dumper across for sand, we will end up just sanding across here to make this easier. But that'll be after we've done this and the stump grinder. Yeah, a little bit deep water, but it's fine. To be fair with deep water, as long as you keep moving, you won't drown. That's the thing, as long as you've moved to a point of where you're always going to get out of the water, it will go away again. Say that, as that got a little bit stuck there. Yeah, we definitely got to sand that water. And we may not even be able to stump grind until we sand it, to be fair. Yeah, it did not like that at all. We made it through, but it didn't like it. Right, how's it going to deal with the actual road bit that we're building? And then we're going to see how the crane works too. Handling wise, it's not too bad. It's obviously got the same issues that tracks normally have, in terms it can be a bit jumpy. Turning wise, it's better because you've got more of a turning circle with it, because of the way the back is connected. Right, we've got logs on our right hand side here. This will be our first test of how this works. compared to others we've used. Now, there isn't a anchor to put down, whereas some of us do. We'll swap the camera to this one. This is the grabber. Now, I've always struggled with these vehicles and grabbing trees. I don't know what it is, but I've always struggled with it, so this may take a bit of getting used to. I don't want to pick both up. Oh, there you go. Right, first one is there. The camera's a bit jumpy. We've got the camera on the crane itself. The camera's a little bit jumpy. The other ones of these we use, I just struggle to control them. And I am kind of having that issue now. I just want to come across. I don't want to go down, I want to go across. There we go. I wouldn't say it's as nice to use as the previous one we were using. We tested a few of them out and they were all really awkward crane wise. And this one's a very similar vein in terms of awkwardness with the crane. Some other people might find the crane absolutely fine, but I struggle with it a little bit. It may just take it being used to. There we go. Trying to pick it up from the middle where possible. The camera kind of jumps when you first pick up a log as well, I've noticed. Like that. It's a little bit weird and awkward. Okay. Yeah, it's maybe it's just a case of getting used to it, but it's not as nice to use as what we were using previously. But so far, from the Timberwork packed vehicles, I think there's only one that's been okay, and there was only 3 vehicles in the pack. But this could be a me issue because I've struggled with these cranes anyway. It's definitely not as nice as some of the other ones we've used. And I think the camera jumping around is so awkward. I need that to come towards me. That bottom, it's because the bottom's so low. Yeah, it's just awkward more than anything else. And the camera jumping doesn't help. You put it where you want it, better view what you're doing. It jumps away from you like that. Really not helpful. Just want it further back, is what I'm trying to do with it. Okay. Bring it back this way. No. Let's go stealth in the vehicle and look. That's what I didn't want to happen. I was trying to go above there. Jake, good morning, how are you? Don't know if I can get that out of there. Now. Come on. Come out of that bit. Kind of slipped underneath as we was trying to get it flat. There we go, it's out. Yeah, this is so awkward compared to the one we normally use. For whatever reason, just can't seem to get it to do what I want it to do. So this was the new one from the Timberworks pack. But the camera jumping. There's only 2 camera modes. That's the vehicle camera mode, and that's the crane camera. There's only 2 cameras. But as I say, the one we normally use, I don't have this issue. It's the camera's jumping so much. It makes seeing what you're doing tricky. Okay. It's in. But yeah, that wasn't easy to get that in position, I must admit. As I say, the one we normally use I do prefer. But it could just be a case of getting used to this, I don't know. Right, this is what I thought would happen though as well. The camera you use to actually drive the vehicle, your view is really obscured. That was my other concern. And it seems to be the problem. Right, the next one is over here. The control of it's really nice. With the tracks and everything is really nice. It's just the cameras and the crane control. It's just jumpy. Compared to the base game ones, and the one in particular we use all the time, it's just so much better. Less jumpy, easier to control. But I like the fact that the tracks is really good. I like the tracks. As I say, I know you can do cab view like that, but I'm not gonna. I can't control the crane like that. That'd be so awkward trying to control that crane from the cab view. We could drive cab view, absolutely. Generally, I don't drive cab view because it's harder to see some of the terrain issues. When you're driving with rear view camera, at least you can see the terrain better, so you can navigate corners a bit easier, I find anyway. I know everyone has their preferred way of doing it. Yeah, generally I don't drive cab view just because I think it limits your view more. Obviously less realistic, but you get to see more of the world around you as well if you're not in cab view, I find. But I know obviously it does take the realism out a little bit. To be fair, the crane, I take it back, the crane's not too bad once you get used to it. I think it is just that initial getting used to the crane that is the problem. And as I say, the driving view is a different issue. The control of it is really nice though, it's so smooth. And obviously the tracks are really good in most terrain. That does make a difference. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that is it's the issue with the boom. But the actual control of the crane isn't too bad once you get used to its little nuances, but it's just the camera jumping is the problem. Yeah, this is boom cam, yeah. Which is obviously what you should use when you're using a crane, so you can see what you're doing. But it's just so jumpy. Yeah, but you're meant to be on boom cam when using the crane. That's the whole point of the crane cameras. That's what you're meant to use. Okay, that's them in. Let's try folding crane. Okay, we can't fold crane because it's obstructed by the logs. But yeah. See, this isn't crane view. That is. As I said, my issue with crane view is it jumps a lot when you're doing the logs, but it's the driving view is obscured because of the crane itself. Yeah, you only use what view? Do you normally driving in cab view? Are you? I know some people do for the realism. Just prefer to see more. Yeah, I'm only using boom cam when picking up, so we swap out every time we put the crane back. The other camera view is trail cam. But the one that's jumping around is boom cam that's jumping so much. Which when you're trying to use it as you put the logs in is awkward. I was going to spin that round, but actually I don't think I should. You know, you'd think the boom cam would make life easier for you, not make it harder. I dropped it. Dropping that wasn't too bad, to be fair. Yeah, but that's why I'm using that. So the camera view now is boom cam because obviously we're using the crane. When we drive, we use rear view cam, but it's obscured by the vehicle. And the only other option is cab view. But it's jumping using boom cam, which, considering using the boom cam so you can see better when you're picking stuff up, it shouldn't jump around so much. Is what I mean. It's meant to be so you've got more view of what you're doing with the crane itself. But when it's jumping, you don't have that. It just keeps messing it up. And other vehicles don't have that issue of the camera jumping all the time. Okay, we've got a log to our left here. There's a stump as well to avoid. So the one thing I do like is the actual track. It's so smooth to drive. But it's, yeah, the boom cam is annoying compared to the other ones anyway. The crane itself isn't too bad to use. We've had issues with previous cranes like this. They've been really awkward to use. This one isn't too bad at all. It just took a bit of getting used to it, really. As it's very, very twitchy, shall we say. Yeah, it's more the camera that's the problem. Yeah, it's not too bad to use once you get used to it. Okay, next bit over here. Just want to clear away. If the camera wasn't so twitchy, it wouldn't be a problem, I don't think. I think it's a vehicle we'll probably use again, to be fair. But that sudden jump from camera isn't me doing it. And I know it's because of where the log is placed and things. But it's just making life harder. Don't think I need to turn that. But yeah, the crane itself, I had issues when we first started using it. But actually now the crane's fine. Okay, another one to our left here. And there's a stump ahead of us as well. Can you drive normal, i.e. behind the truck, you can zoom out the view to load? Yeah, you probably can in settings, but then it's going to be the same for every vehicle. And I don't have the issue with other vehicles. Other than the bridge layer. The view for the large bridge layer is obscured when you're using trail cam. But if you change it in the settings, it will change for all vehicles. And I don't want to be further back on the other vehicles. But I also don't want to keep going back in settings just to change it. But it's just one of those issues that you can get around by driving cab view. It's not the end of the world. Okay, bring them back towards us. As I say, once you're used to the crane, it's actually not too bad. This may be a new one for us to use more often, to be fair. Despite the camera issue, I think everything else about it is actually really good. It's really solid on the floor as well. You can feel it's really planted. It's obviously not as quick as the wheeled version, because tracks are always slower, but yeah, I actually really like it. I didn't think I'd like this at all. I thought I would dislike this one, to be fair, but actually, take it back, I really like it. Bar the camera issues, it's actually a really good addition. So, take it back, 2 out of 3 vehicles added in the Timberwork pack are okay. This one being actually really good. I think the actual tree cutter was just silly. I know it's it's the farmer's version of the tree cutter, essentially. So I get why they've added it. But for a business that helps regions get back on their feet after environmental disasters, you'd think they'd be better off using something other than a tree cutter that a farmer has. But then it may be the only one they can get their hands on, maybe, if you look at it from that standpoint. That's the only thing I would say is a bit of a disappointment, is the tree cutter. But then I do prefer the crayfish anyway. So obviously that comes into play as the crayfish for me. I don't think anything's going to beat it. So maybe there is a bit of that as well. But yeah, actually this is a really good crane by the end of it. Bad mouthing at the start, but actually not too bad. Still don't think we needed more wood vehicles. I think there's plenty. And they could have added different things in, but actually, not too bad. Stop swinging. So the crane issues could just be a me issue. I'm not the best with these kind of cranes, in all honesty, so it could just be a personal issue. I don't think there's many more to pick up now. I think we're nearly there. So you play on PC, do you, Jake? How do you find it on PC? I couldn't imagine using keyboard and mouse to drive with. It's just something I've never done, so in my mind it doesn't work. I've always done console. I have PC for other games that I think work really well and don't work on console. But I'm not in the middle. It's struggling to pick it up. I need to be more in the middle. The weight of it's too much on one side. Let's try that. That's better. Oh yeah, it does have controller compatibility, does it? More games are having that now, aren't they? This log is a bit too heavy. Really doesn't like it. There we go, it's on though. Out of the way. There we go. Yeah. Did seem to have a bit of an issue with that log, but other than that, we're okay. I think there's one more log to pick up. Oh, there might be one at the top as well, actually. 2 more logs to pick up, and then we can come with the stump grind, although we may need to get rid of the water first. Yeah, I generally only play games on PC that you just need mouse for. Anything else, I just prefer controller, but then I might as well buy them on the PS5 if I'm going to use controller anyway. But I think that's more personal preference. It's because I've always generally had console over PC. And I know obviously PC games, you've got more mods and things, and there are benefits in that respect. I generally don't play many games that you mod anyway. Oh, is that the part that's confusing me with the camera? Okay. Another one that's really struggling to lift. Why is it suddenly struggling to lift things? It's struggling to go up with this log, it's weird. We have got quite a few logs on though, that might be part of it. Okay, so that's the road cleared of logs now. We can get the stump grind over, mainly the sand, the water area first though, that's anything. Let's get up the hill though. But yeah, that is the issue with the camera. And it's fine driving cab view, but sometimes on the terrain you're going to get caught up on logs, on stumps and stuff, because you can't see as much. That's why I always prefer trail cam, just because you can see more of the hazards. Right, we need to park this somewhere out of the way. Obviously the crayfish is parked on a stump over there. go to the left here. We don't know where we need the logs for the time being, so there's no point in delivering them anywhere just yet. We'll hold off until we figure out where they need to go at some point, but I just want them out the way of the road area we've got to do for this mission. So sand is next, only because we need to fill in this water. We are getting vehicles to come close to drowning in it, so we better fit it in now. Oh no, I say fit it in, we're out of time. Thanks for the like, much appreciated. I've just realised it's already midday. Wow. 3.5 hours today has flown by. It really has. Nate, good morning, how are you? Good afternoon, sorry, how are you? We're just about to finish, we've run out of time. I can't believe it's been 3.5 hours. Wow. That's flown by today. Right, let's have a look at what we've managed to get done today, though. We have managed to open up a brand new base. The tunnel exit base is now open. We've also connected the main power substation back up and got that back up and running. We have done the central radio tower. That is now back up and running as well after delivering parts up there. We have run power from the main substation down to the sawmill and our new base of operations. We've got the construction depot up and running as well now. And we finished off our big long road that ran all the way from the substation all the way up and round to the gas station, and the repair shop has been done as well with the road there. So I think we got a fair amount done today. Thank you, Jake, much appreciated. Thanks for dropping by. So let's go and see what our percentage now is. So we started down 41% on the final DLC map. We'll see what our percentage is now we're finished. We are back tomorrow morning for more Ghosts of Yotai. The plan tomorrow is to finish the story, potentially look at Platinum, and maybe get that done tomorrow if we can. RoadCraft will be back next week. We actually managed to get 10% done today. We're up from 41% to 51% now. 9 of 24 infrastructure missions done, 14 of 32 main, and 8 of 11 side objectives now complete. And the only bit of the map we still haven't really explored is the top northwest area. There's a bit more exploration probably up there to find new places. But that is about the only part of the map we haven't been to now. So I think it's been very productive. We've managed to get quite a bit done. Our big road is complete. That was the main thing. And obviously the new base operations helps as well. And there's still lots more to see and do. As I say, RoadCraft is back next week. Ghost of Yotai tomorrow. And don't miss the chance to vote for next main live stream game. That vote is now live on our community page. Will run until Saturday morning at 8:30 AM GMT. So don't miss your chance to vote. Any votes after 8:30 AM GMT on Saturday morning will not be counted, and there'll be a pinned comment immediately at 8:30 saying who won. And that game will start next week because I think we're going to finish Ghost of Yotai tomorrow morning. So we'll be starting whatever game wins as of Monday morning. That is the plan. But a massive thank you to you guys for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the views, and the conversation. It's always a pleasure. We are back tomorrow, Ghost of Yotai. RoadCraft next week. Don't miss the vote. That's all. Have a good day. We'll see you in a live stream very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.